Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into round 2 of the 2020 Ride365.com Nationals here in MX Simulator. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer, and we're bringing you guys High Point tonight. It is a delayed broadcast. This broadcast was supposed to happen on June 24th, but obviously my daughter was born on June 25th, so I was actually in the hospital at that time. Couldn't broadcast. Fortunately, we're going to push this broadcast back to this week, and we're going to go right into it, basically, because we don't have to worry about going over the consies or anything like that. We're going to jump right into 250 Moto 2. But before we get things started tonight, I wanted to reiterate some of the qualifying times that we saw back here at round 2 in High Point. It was Colby Eagland in the 250 motocross class that had the fastest qualifying time with a 2:03.531. Braden Carter at 2:04.218. Isaiah Dickerson in the 2:04s as well as Tyler Lang. And Payson Johnson was your points leader going into this round. He had went 1-1 at WW Ranch, if you remember back then. So he had the points lead, and everybody was trying to knock him off his pedestal. And he was going to go into this round with 6 fastest qualifying. So we're going to just jump right into it. I have the demos lined up. We're going to broadcast this like a normal night of racing, essentially, but pretty much no breaks. We're just going to go through Moto 1, Moto 2, right into 450s, Moto 1 and Moto 2, and maybe get out of here within about 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so tonight. So let's go ahead, line them up on the gate, and let's see how things are going to go. They are already revved up here at High Point, and no parade lap, nothing. It is time to go racing, folks. We're going to get these guys started as JLV is going to turn that 30 card sideways, and we're going to be off and running here at High Point. It was the second round of the Nationals. It happened a couple weeks ago, but we're watching it right now live on SYS TV. Who's going to get the whole shot in 250 Moto 1 here at High Point as we're off and running? And it's a drag race. We're looking at Siebold off the start, but it's a Yamaha from the inside that looks like he might get there. Not sure. That was the 55, actually, of Trent Shepard, who picks up the whole shot. Braden Carter slinging around the outside of the third on the 32, gets back around him. We also have Tyler Lang moving into second as everybody tries to settle in, and we'll keep an eye out where Payson Johnson, the championship leader, is, but this is good news, obviously, for Carter to start up front and try to lead the way around from these people. So this is our first look to at the High Point track. If you haven't already seen it, it was the second round of the championship, and everybody that is on this broadcast right now raced that race back on June 24th, so this is couple weeks old at this point, and we may even be fortunate enough to see a few of these guys here in the chat tonight, chatting with you guys as we watch this broadcast go on. But early runnings in 250 Moto number 1, it's Braden Carter leading the way from Tyler Lang. Remember, they're going to go 30 minutes plus 2 laps, and they're going to do it twice. So got to settle into a pace here early and try to establish a lead, which it seems like both of these riders are doing. It's Trent Shepard back here in that 3 spot after getting that whole shot, and he's bringing Cooper Hunt with him. Colby Eagland also has got a good start there on the 24. He was fast in qualifying. Here is your points leader, though, 1-1 at WW Ranch, and Tyler Lang has hit the deck. Tyler Lang is down on the number 14. He's just getting going as they work their way out of the trees. And I will somewhat apologize for the fact that the cameras are going to be a little bit off in some places. I actually set up the cameras with the server lag or whatever you want to call it in mind. So these guys always go through gates about 2 seconds or so before the cameras catch up to them. So the cameras always switch a lot earlier. But right now, these guys are obviously going through gates exactly on the mark because it's just a demo of it. It's not the actual in-server thing that's happening right now. So the cameras may have some trees and some stuff in the way, but just trying to explain why you might see that. So lap 1 in the books. Still Braden Carter leading. His teammate Trent Shepard has moved into second after Lang went down. Cooper Hunt now finds himself in third just in front of Colby Eagland. And Payson Johnson rounding out the top 5, I should say. Trying to put some pressure on these guys. Oh, a little sideways there. And over top of him goes fellow teammate Jeremy Siebold. Siebold trying to close up on the number 351. Siebold, the 450 Supercross champion from earlier this season. And some of you may be confused because obviously this is a few rounds back when Siebold was still on Panini. He is now privateer, lifing it on his own KTM. But this was the last round that he would ride for Panini, so he's still on the program back here on June 24th. And trying to put the pressure on his then teammate Payson Johnson is, oh, there's contact, and Eagland goes down. He got into the side of Cooper Hunt. So his teammates swarm around him, as does quite a lot of the field. Here's Isaiah Dickerson, whom it sounds like we will not see racing any further after his DNFs at Southwick. Just essentially not having fun with the game. So this is another kind of throwback. Just you're going to see a lot of weird things in this race. And obviously everybody who has raced this race already or was there that evening knows exactly how these races ended up. But I purposely did not look at results or anything. I just grabbed demos and I went with it. So I don't know who wins this race. I don't know anything about it other than early on here, 4 minutes in already, it's still Braden Carter leading. Carter was looking to pick up on some momentum from winning a few GPs back around this time as well. He'd really hit his stride. And Payson Johnson has now moved up into second around Trent Shepard. So Shepard was meant to be a little bit of a buffer there teammate-wise for Braden Carter out front, but it didn't last very long as Johnson has already moved up into second and looking to start the season off with 3 straight moto wins if he can run down Braden Carter. Shout out MC Andy Williams dropping off 279 in the chat. Already got some familiar faces hanging out in the chat. Good to see everybody here tonight. I know as a rerun, I don't always expect to see a full turnout of everybody because it's not a true race night. It doesn't have the same vibe. We're just kind of rewatching this race and seeing what happened back then. But it's still cool to see some of you guys hanging out. Creeping up on the 5-minute mark and lap time check as Payson Johnson runs a 2:08.6 to a 2:08.2 of Carter. So looks like Carter's actually going a little bit quicker right now, but it seems like that gap is coming down for Johnson as we'll go on board with him here for a few turns and see what it looks like to race around this High Point National track. Another thing I did as well, which I'm not sure you'll be able to see because YouTube compresses everything pretty hard even on broadcasting, is because it's a demo and because I don't have to worry about server lag or anything along those lines, I also up my graphics just a little bit more so I could get everything loaded and then we could just go, essentially. So Johnson still about 3.4, 3.5-ish seconds down. It's kind of stayed there. It seems like Carter's leveled that gap off and extended his lead. But Johnson definitely pushing the envelope. Brings it back down to about 3.1 seconds. Dropping down the hill. Let's see if he can close that gap down even further. Maybe run into the 207s here. Put some pressure on Carter. Up the uphill we go. Scrub single into the uphill triple. 2:05.8. Look at him laying times down, and it was a 2:08.2 out of Carter. So Payson Johnson absolutely flying right now. Going almost 3 seconds a lap faster, trying to catch Braden Carter. Shout out Eric Thompson in chat. $2 donation. Thanks, buddy. He says, quality work as always. Hope all is well. All is very well. Hence why we get to do some rebroadcasting tonight, folks. I promised I'd get it done. Some of you were skeptical, I'm sure. But we're going 3 straight nights of broadcasting. Obviously, we had the 6th round of the Grand Prix Championship last night, and we are re-airing the 2nd round of the Nationals tonight to lead us into the 4th round of the Nationals, which will be tomorrow evening at Redbud. Really excited to get that one off and running. But before we do that, we, of course, have to dive back a little bit here and see what happened a couple rounds ago when we were not on the air. And right now in this 250 MX class race number 1, Braden Carter, 7.5 minutes into this thing, continues to lead the way from Payson Johnson, who again, in what is his first full rookie season racing on the professional scene in this game, has gone 1-1 to open the season at WW Ranch and is trying to make it 3 straight moto wins to open the season here. Carter looking pretty strong, but Johnson definitely closing that gap down, and Jeremy Seabolt also keeping things quite close back here on the 19. Lang has moved back up into 4th after his early fall. Cooper Hunt following him through. Dickerson, Trent Shepard, after getting the whole shot, has dropped his way back a little bit, but trying to keep pace with some of these lead riders. Solid effort right now as well from Cooper Hunt on the 304 VlastMX.com ride. Always good to see triple-digit riders running up amidst some of the career number or low national number riders like Dickerson, Lang, Seabolt up here. And Cooper Hunt on the 304. Proven his worth so far in this one at least. About to have a handful though with Isaiah Dickerson jumping up to his outside there on the 26. Now he's going to cut back up to the inside as Hunt closes the door onto the middle rut. Not able to get it done just yet, but Seabolt's got a great drive down by the mechanics area. Let's see. Oh, he gets into the back of him in 360s, but he stays on two wheels. Very fortunate there, but he is going to get passed by Shepard and Zoa Cross also going through on the MXLocker.com machine. So Dickerson needing to regroup here and go back after it. He was putting the pressure on Hunt, loses a couple spots. Actually looks as though Seabolt might be catching teammate Payson Johnson here. And again, if you're just joining us, yeah, this is a few weeks old, High Point. So this is back when Seabolt was still on Panini. Obviously not on that team anymore, but for the time being, it was his teammate that he was trying to close up here on Payson Johnson. And just as quickly as we thought, Johnson may be reeling in Carter up front. Only 1.4 seconds in it. Seabolt just did a 207.2, which matched Payson Johnson last time by, but it seems like he's bringing that gap down ever so slightly. Keeping that gap pretty steady. Interesting to see the way that these guys approach some of these corners. That section really tricky right there to try to land up on that plateau and not go too far. And Seabolt keeping that gap nice and steady. Shout out Alex Efforts in the chat, dropping $5 off. Thank you so much, Mr. ATE Studios. Alex Efforts always putting in some great work for us here. Not only with his work with the Race Factor Gaming track crew, but also some of the cool stuff that he puts out over at his ATE Studios department. Some really awesome helmets and boots and gear and some stuff like that he makes. Always some fresh work, and says thanks for streaming this. As always, live streams are always fun. Hey, they always are quite a good time, especially when the chat is lively as you guys are tonight. Making it exciting to watch a rebroadcasted race. So coming up on 11 minutes in, and suddenly Jeremy Seabolt is all over Payson Johnson for this 2 spot. And the front 3 are gone as Johnson jumps off the outside of the racetrack. And he went down. It looks like he kind of flipped over. He did not actually fall off the bike, it appears, but he did lose that 2nd spot. So Seabolt, he moves up into that 2 spot, and he's trying to set sail after Braden Carter, who has led this race from pretty early on. So Carter, Seabolt now 2nd. Johnson drops back to 3rd, and then already a distant 4th. Zoa Cross got around Cooper Hunt. Now Hunt, oh, big stand up in the corner, and Dickerson takes advantage of it to go down the inside on the 26. We also have Trent Shepard and Tyler Lang closing up from behind as well. So a really tight-knit battle here from about the 5 on back spot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish all mixed in here. Cooper Hunt trying to fight back on Trent Shepard. Not letting him go, but Dickerson stretching that gap out. You also got to watch out because Colby Eaglin and Bryce Whelan, a couple more Panini Motorsports riders, are getting into the mix as Lang shoots down the inside of Hunt. And here comes Eaglin also trying to make the move as well. Oh no, Eaglin gets into the back of Hunt and goes down. Unfortunate for Eaglin. Here comes James Wilcox. Wilcox is going to go on by. Trent Adams getting a little wayward on rut entry there. Sneak back up and check out this battle. Whelan starting to put some pressure on Hunt, but Lang has the pressure all applied to Trent Shepard right now. So what's going to happen first? Well, it looks like Whelan did already make that pass on Cooper Hunt. Cooper Hunt getting passed there by Bryce Whelan. And Lang now putting some serious pressure onto the back there of Trent Shepard around the outside. Oh, that was very close. Almost came to blows. And now Whelan comes up the inside and gives him a little bit of a shove to move around him as well. So Lang and Whelan, both riders on the move right now, as they're already into some lap traffic here. Somebody on a 125 back there. Dropping down the hill, Whelan trying to make something happen here on Tyler Lang. All the while, it seems like they are both pushing up here. Trying to close up on Dickerson ahead of them. Zoe Cross still. Ooh, nice oppo whip by Zoe Cross. He's getting nice and froggy out here. Jeremy Seabold has lost the spot to Payson Johnson, though. Johnson has moved back up into second. And Carter still continues to lead, but that gap has definitely come down a little bit. Johnson trying to keep Braden Carter in his sights, has the gap down to just about 2 seconds. And you can see that the front three still have a nice little lead going. Although the rest of the field pretty spread out at this point. So let's see what Johnson's lap time is that allowed him to get this close. He just put in a 2:06.8 to a 2:10.6. So there you go. Just took about 4 seconds out of Braden Carter's lead that last lap alone, and definitely on the move. So Johnson trying to close up there on Carter. Seabold a lonely third, Cross in fourth, and Dickerson still in fifth. Looks like Whelan has made that move on Lang for sixth. And it must have just happened a few turns ago because he's still right ahead of him. A little hiccup there in the rut for Whelan, and Lang closes right back up on him. Almost through the front. Blasting down the hill, and Whelan doing everything he can to keep Tyler Lang at bay, but maybe he himself is trying to open up some eyes ahead of him. Close up on Dickerson and Cross. Lang just not letting him go, just getting right on behind him, sticking to him like glue. So can Lang size up another pass as they come down to the big quad? Oh, oppo whip for Whelan. Almost lands on Lang, who shoots down the inside, and Whelan holds it on around the outside to keep the position. Man, that was getting close right there. Oh, Lang got a really good drive out of the corner, but kind of slid coming down the hill. Great battle between these two. Nothing in it at all. They're just putting so much pressure on each other. Whelan at first, making Lang worry about what's going on behind him, and now Lang has thrown the old reverse card in Uno as he almost gets alongside of him. Down the inside, Lang trying to get it done side by side. Oh, Lang's jumping off the track, and he's going to have to slow it down just a little bit to not gain an advantage. Headed back up the hill. Still right there on Whelan. Nothing in it, like I said. And about 5 seconds off of Dickerson ahead of them, so they're actually losing ground in this little battle that they're having amongst each other. Lang just cannot seem to get a wheel on him down the inside. But around the outside he goes. He's going to try to square him off into the next corner, but Whelan holds it on. They're both going to that middle rut. Lang is all over him, just applying so much pressure. Still has not been able to make that move happen just yet, but maybe he has something lined up here in the switchbacks. Coming down the far outside of the track to sling around the outside, and a nice move. Lang gets back around Whelan a lap after Whelan got him. And they continue their battle. That is terrific action. Both of those guys running so close together. Clean racing. Nothing too pushy or shovey, but Lang able to strategically move back around him. And, Payson Johnson was just down. Payson Johnson down in the transition of the ravine. So Siebold goes by to get back up into second. Johnson peeking back up the inside. They're now 11 seconds off of Carter out front. And moving into the latter half of this race, Carter looking like he's in a really good position to maybe pick up this moto win. Inside move for Johnson, not quite able to get the power down though, as Siebold very nicely keeps it on around the outside and then scrubs up the hill. That actually seemed to gain him a little bit of time on his teammate Johnson there. Oh, a little mistake for Siebold, so Johnson gets a great drive up the hill. Does he have a pass lined up down the inside? Scrubs up alongside and goes for the far inside rut side by side, and Johnson moves back ahead of Siebold. Man, is this kid showed up to the scene or what? Siebold, the reigning and current Supercross champion in the 450 division, just getting passed straight up by who is essentially a rookie, Payson Johnson here. Incredible stuff here for the 351. So Siebold trying to fight back. They'll actually close that gap down to under 9 seconds to race leader Braden Carter. So both of them absolutely flying right now, trying to keep the pressure on. And, oh, is that Carter? That was Carter. Carter was down with the lead. Carter down with the lead, and suddenly Johnson has gone to the front. So just like that, we have a change here at High Point. Just past the 20-minute mark, we got 10 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Payson Johnson now leads from Carter and Siebold, as all three of them in the air at the same time, dropping down the hill here. Johnson, Carter, Siebold. And is this the opportunity here for Payson Johnson to try to stretch out a lead? Looking to start the season with 3 straight moto wins. Boy, wouldn't that be something for the 351 if he could get that done. Oh, Siebold down out of third. And there goes, it looks like Dickerson just scooted on by. It was. Or is that Whelan this time? I thought that might have been Eaglin. So Lang goes back around Whelan. There goes Eaglin around Whelan as well. And Zoe Cross is still mixed up in here. Shout out Charles Boswell. $2 donation in chat. Keep killing it, Kellen. Appreciate all you do. Thank you, Charles. I really appreciate that comment, and I appreciate the donation. No, you have no idea how much just a few bucks helps me out. And anytime you guys donate, it really does mean a lot. So thank you, Charles. I'm going to keep doing what I love doing, which is providing some awesome content for you guys to watch. And hopefully you guys enjoy as we keep on racing here. Johnson not far away from Carter just yet. See if Carter has something in his back pocket here that he can close up here on Payson Johnson. Make things interesting. Though Johnson looks like he's already slightly stretched out that gap, and while he has, and it seems like everybody else inside of the top 10 is just a little bit spread apart. So let's go ahead and do a quick top 20 rundown here. It's 250 Moto 1 here at High Point. Let's go ahead and see where our top 20 lies, and this one's brought to you by Racetech Suspension, racetech.com. Head over there today to get your suspension or engine parts dialed. They've got a whole host of things that they offer, including their award-winning gold valves. Get your suspension feeling better today, but not feeling that way, as Payson Johnson just went down just as we started this top 20 rundown, and Carter's gone back to the lead, and Johnson's still flopping around like a dead fish at the bottom. As Dickerson goes by into second, Johnson gets going just ahead of his teammate Siebold in third, so we'll hold off on this top 20 rundown for just a brief second as Johnson tries to settle himself back down. All right, so let's go ahead and do this top 20 rundown quick. Braden Carter reassumes the race lead 23 minutes in. The QM1 number 32 ride has led most of this moto. Although he just coughed up the lead not too long ago, he's got it back again. Isaiah Dickerson back into second on the number 26 MV Films ride, and he's trying to hold off a incredible battle happening right now between Payson Johnson and Jeremy Seabolt, teammates. The number 351 of Johnson and the 19 of Seabolt battling it out for third as they drop down into this tricky off camber, and Johnson able to hold it on through the middle rut, so Seabolt loses a little bit of time, and that's going to be enough of a break for us to go back here and keep looking who's inside this top 20. All right, so Tyler Lang now sits in fifth on the MV Films number 14, and behind him is Zoe Cross on the MXLocker.com number 49. He's in sixth. Seventh belongs to Bryce Whelan on the Panini Motorsports number 34, ahead of his teammate Colby Eagland on the number 24 in eighth. Ninth is the 304 VlastMX.com Yamaha of Cooper Hunt. And rounding out our top 10 right now is the Mad Cape number 172 of James Wilcox. Going back to 11th, we've got Trent Adams on the Takatoji number 50 coming down the hill, ahead of Trent Shepard on the QM1 number 55 in 12th. 13th is Benjamin Saves on the Architect number 165, ahead of Neil Fitzpatrick on the Proline Designs number 91 back here in 14th. 15th goes to Zach Prokop on the Tegrity number 90, ahead of 16th place Ethan Gerst on the Rival Decal number 260. 17th right now is Daniel Mills on the JDR Jack Daniels Racing number 31. 18th for Tanner Rogers on the Mad Cape 499. 19th for Cale Braden on the Elevated Motorsports number 233, and 20th is Luke Sullivan on the QM1 number 65, just ahead of Luke Magnetti. Mom Spaghetti on the BPC 107 has moved up into the top 20, but see if he can hold it off as down the inside Sullivan trying to get him back, and they will continue their battle as that is a Race Tech rundown of the top 20 here at High Point. 250 Moto 1 will head back out front and see, has anything changed? No, still Carter, Dickerson, and Johnson. Missed a couple donations while we were doing that. Big shout out Braden Carter for $5. He's leading this moto and donating in the chat at the same time. I told you we'd see some of the guys that raced in this actual race here tonight hanging out at the broadcast. Always good to see you guys here. And thank you, Braden Carter, for the $5 donation. He says, thanks for the rebroadcast. Buy your kid some milk for me. Well, you don't really buy your kid milk unless you're feeding them formula. We are breastfeeding our child, so we don't need to buy milk just yet. But thank you for the sentiment. We'll use that cash on diapers instead because that's what she goes through the most. And Alex Efforts says, make sure to smash that like button too. He donates $2. And appreciate it, Alex, for your donation very kindly here on the broadcast. Three-rider battle brewing here for the 2 spot as Seabolt tries to go around the outside of his teammate, Payson Johnson, onto the start straight. Is he going to get it to work? He will, as the 19 moves up into the 3 spot. He's right behind Isaiah Dickerson, and Braden Carter's not too far ahead of him as down goes Dickerson out of second, so Seabolt goes by. There goes Johnson. Let's see if Dickerson gets up ahead of Lang as Lang is coming down the hill right here. And there's Lang, and Lang is going to get that pass done on his teammate. So they will continue their battle coming down the hill here, as now it is a battle for 4th. It's like Lang able to open up a small gap, at least for the time being, on Dickerson, and Dickerson just went down again. That is going to be unfortunate for the MV Films rider, who was just out front. He's trying to get it righted, and he's going to do so well before Cooper Hunt gets there, so the top 5 have definitely spread things out a bit here. 27 minutes in the books, only a couple laps and a couple minutes left on the clock. So Seabolt trying to regroup and go back after teammate Payson Johnson. All the while, Braden Carter continues to hold on to a steady lead at the front. You can see Payson Johnson just coming into the background there. Not close for a battle just yet. Carter holding it on up the hill. We got 2 minutes left on the clock, and then 2 laps to go after the clock wraps up. Can Payson Johnson reel in Braden Carter for the lead and keep his perfect streak alive? Double moto wins at WW Ranch, trying to start the season with 3 straight moto wins. But he's got to go through Braden Carter to get there. Carter looking solid as a rock out front and doesn't seem like he has much lap traffic ahead of him to contend with just yet. Though Payson Johnson looks like he is really starting to fly down the hill right now. That time to the lead is coming down awful quick, and Carter actually does have some lap traffic to contend with here before long. 4.2 seconds separating both riders. Johnson is slowly, very methodically bringing that gap down, and Carter, as mentioned, is going to have to deal with at least 5 or 6 lapped riders here before long as he drops in through the gully. There's a rider down here on the left side. That is not Carter, though. Looks to be perhaps one of the Takatoji riders. 3.7 seconds, that gap continuing to slowly drop down to 3.3. Carter looks like he's getting through lap traffic fairly well so far. Johnson putting so much emphasis on charging down these hills. Seems like where he was gaining his time, but he actually just lost a little bit of time right there. Carter opens up that gap just a little bit more as we jump to the top of the hill, and time has expired, so the 2-lap board is coming out right now at High Point. 250 Moto number 1 of the rebroadcasted High Point National has 2 laps to go here. Johnson did a 2:08.5 to a 2:09.7, so a second gain last lap alone for Johnson. And Carter has a few more lapped riders ahead of him to contend with. Got the gap under 3 seconds now as Johnson continuing to watch the time slip down. I wonder if Carter knows on his pit board that he's coming, or perhaps he has someone spotting for him to let him know that it's getting close, and he just made a big mistake, and that gap is nil at this point as it's under a second as Carter right in front of Johnson on our screen here. 2 laps to go, and it's anybody's battle for the lead here. Who's going to take it? Johnson, I thought it was a little short on the quad, but he just downsided it. There still is, there's so much lap traffic ahead of these guys. Where are they going to go? Look at, there's riders coming from off the track as well. Oh, Carter has 3 riders ahead of him. What is he going to do? He's going to swing way wide here. And Johnson trying to peek down the inside. Oh, he's going to get hung up with a lapper in his own right, and Johnson is down. That's one of the SwapMotoLive.com riders. Oh, and flipping in is Siebold. Siebold just went down as well. 189 was the rider that went down. Almost nowhere he could go there, so unfortunate for him, but Johnson gets into him, and now Carter's having to weave through these guys. Carter dropping down the hill. He's going to get the white flag next time by, and Johnson going to be pretty bummed with that little maneuver there that the lapped riders took. Almost nothing you can do, though, when there's lappers in 3 different ruts. And Siebold, after his fall, going to have to deal with Tyler Lang closing up. His white flag waves for Carter out front. So can Carter hold on to pick up his first win of 2020 in the National Championship here at High Point? 3rd moto of the season. Man, Carter, a mistake there, and the 720 unlaps himself. Dealing with some lap traffic issues coming down the hill. Braden Carter, as the 720 now moves aside, maybe he didn't realize that was a leader he was battling with. I'll tell you what, though, Payson Johnson is not letting this one go. 3.2, 2.8 seconds. It's coming down again so fast. Although Braden Carter has clear air ahead of him now. No lap traffic problems to deal with from here until probably the end of the race. And Johnson, he goes down and he gets clipped. So he's going to be off the bike, and that may very well just do it for the moto victory. How about second place, though? Here comes Seabolt. Seabolt trying to get his teammate for second very late in this race. Down the inside, gets into him, and goes into second as Payson Johnson gets pushed aside. And Seabolt moves up into the 2 spot. Oh, man. Drama at the semi if I've ever seen one. Braden Carter working on it with a couple corners here still to go. And down the hill. Just smooth as butter. This has been a good showing here for Carter. Strong moto, started up front, got the lead early. May have lost the lead during the middle part of the race, but got it right back and has held it since. Even through the many attempts that Johnson has thrown at him, Johnson just unable to stay on 2 wheels. And he is in danger of perhaps losing another spot if it doesn't go right here. But coming up the hill one more time. Braden Carter over the triple one last time, and the first moto win of High Point here in 2020 goes to Braden Carter as he picks up the win here in moto number 1 of the 250 class. Jeremy Seabolt bringing it down to the line, looking to pick up second. And second, he will pick up. Payson Johnson comes across third. And here comes Tyler Lang looking to pick up fourth. Lang will indeed pick up fourth. Dickerson is in fifth, although here comes Supercross rival Colby Eagland. Eagland's going to try to steal this one away from Dickerson like he stole that title. Let's see if he gets it down the inside. Oh, he lands on him, and he's off the bike. Dickerson stays up, and that's going to be a lapped rider sneaking through, so it's not going to matter for position. Dickerson holds on to fifth. Eagland looks like he's going to take sixth in this one. Solid effort here for the 304 of Cooper Hunt. Here in moto number 1, he will pick up seventh. Oh, battle down here as looks like Shepard and Wilcox were going around Bryce Whelan there, and a battle still going on as Shepard's trying to hold off Wilcox. Oh, far inside line for Shepard. It's a drag race up the hill. Wilcox got a pretty good drive. Little dualies at the top of the hill. Shepard goes far inside to defend and holds it. Wilcox crosses in 9th, and Whelan's going to take 10th in this one. Prokop coming over here. He's going to pick up 11th. 12th is going to be Trent Adams. 13th is going to go to Zoa Cross. Neil Fitzpatrick looking to pick up 14th here. He will do so. Looks like Luke Sullivan is going to try to hold off Tanner Rogers in the final corner. He will do so for 15th. 16th goes to Rogers. 17th going to be D Mills here. 18th, Tyron Tomic. He sneaks up into the points here late after sitting outside of the points earlier. Magnetti comes across 19th, just beats Gerst to the line for 20th. And that will wrap up our points paying positions. Still waiting for Cale Braden on the 233 Elevated Motorsports KTM to bring it home, as he will do so here. 21st, and Benjamin saves out of the points here. In 22nd, 23rd was Gable, and 24th Alexander, Glover 25th, Cavacuti 26th, Burns 27th, Hubbard 28th, Mitchell 29th, and Wilson 30th as we wait here for saves to cross the line to give us cuts. Boom, over the line, Benjamin saves goes. And, Ethan Gerst hops to 18th on cuts as Magnetti stays 19th but lost a spot to Gerst on cuts, and Tomic loses 2 spots as he crossed 18th, ends up 20th. Daniel Mills hops to 16th ahead of Luke Sullivan because Sullivan finished 15th. Rogers gets 15th as Mills moves to 16th. Sullivan drops to 17th. Fitzpatrick was 14th. Cross, let's see, anybody else switching positions a little further up? No, Braden Carter confirmed Moto number 1 winner here at High Point. And we are wasting no time, folks. We're going to jump straight into 250 Moto number 2 because guess what? I don't have to worry about any breaks or anything tonight. We're just going to go straight into it. Uh-oh, did Cohenauer give me the wrong demo? Oh, no, Jeremy Cohenauer, did you give me the wrong demo? I don't like that, Cohenauer. Hopefully this one is the right one. I don't think it is. I think this is a different track. Oh no, Jeremy Cohenauer giving me the wrong demo. Oh, what a disappointment. If we're not able to watch the second moto, this is, wow, this is 2019 Fox Raceway Moto 2. Cohenauer, you gave me the wrong demo. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Oh, that sucks. I don't know what to do about this, actually. Oh, Braden Carter says he sent me the demos, so let's see if we can sneak out and go into Discord here and snag some demos. Wouldn't that be huge news? Let me see. Man, I gotta find, let's see. I'm not seeing the demos, Braden. When did you send me them? I see a bunch of, Huh. I don't have the demos from you. Oh, he sent it. Oh, he's re-uploading them. Oh, okay. Okay. Cohenauer is going to just spin laps here while we wait. So, quick technical break, I guess, people. As we're just going to watch Jeremy Cohenauer probably a couple weeks ago spinning laps on this track. But he gave me the wrong demo. I wonder what this is. All right, so we're on a commercial break as normal. So I guess if you guys have any questions in chat you want to ask me, this is where I normally open it up to anything you guys want to talk about as I wait to get the 250 Moto number 2 demo. Yeah, Q&A if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. I would do force reload, but I think I could be wrong. I think the demos are force reloading themselves because Cohenauer has a fresh track right now. I mean, let me see if I load up High Point right now, if it's brutally rough or not. Yeah, I should check my 450 demos, though. Carter just sent me over the demos. So I'll wait for them to come through. Yeah, the track is reset, so I don't think I need to do... Let me check, because first corner was a lot deeper. Yeah, track's reset. All right, interesting. This demo, that's taking a little while. Yeah, I got him, Carter. Thank you. Yeah, why not? Let's alternate tonight. Let's do something different. And I'm gonna hope that my 450 demos are good. Let's just alternate. We'll go 450 Moto 1, like real life. I did see a question come through, though. What's my take on the 2021 CRF 450F? I think it looks sick, to be honest. I was never that big of a fan of dual exhausts, but I understand that some people like the old look of the Hondas. I mean, personally speaking, I thought the 2009 and 2012 Hondas looked a lot better than the 2013 and 2020 Hondas. Like, that's just personal preference. I just like the way the plastics were designed, single pipe, things like that. So I like what they've gone back to. Does it look a little bit like a KTM with the plastics? Yes, but that's all it looks like. It's so funny to me how many people are saying, oh, it looks like a KTM. Like, the internals are so much different. The ergonomics of the frame, it's still an aluminum frame, which KTM runs steel frame. It's not even close to a KTM. It's a completely different bike, and they've also made a lot of updates to it. So I'm excited. I think I'm actually going to get a chance to ride it at some point here pretty soon. I know Chris Kiefer and I we're doing some testing here pretty soon. Next week, I'm definitely doing a couple bike tests on some bikes that are coming out brand new in 2021, but they are not Hondas. I just don't know if we're allowed to talk about them yet. But I'm excited for it. So let's see. Hopefully my 450 demos are good. Oh, Kohenauer. Classic Kohenauer. Actually, I don't know if that's classic Kohenauer. He's never really steered me wrong before. Unclassic Kohenauer. Messing up the demos. I wonder if he went to do protest then and saw that his demos were messed up, but forgot that he sent me the wrong demos that night. Because he sent me these demos back on like the 24th when the race was actually ran. So... All right, we're waiting to load in and see if 450 Moto 1 is going to come to life for us or not. And this should be kind of fun. Kai Nelson, no, neither bike is a gas. They're models that have already been announced. Well, one of them hasn't been announced. I mean, we're going to test the Kawasaki's next Tuesday. But I'm not going to say what we're testing next Thursday. And I say we. Kiefer's going to test. I'm going to film, but I still get to ride the bike after we're done filming. So. All right. Can we get loaded in? So many skins to go through. Just like normal. No, we already did a Sherco test, John Hall. You can head over to racerxonline.com and check out the Sherco test we did. Man, this demo's taking a long time to load. Yes, Michael Ortiz, I do ride in real life. All right. Looks like the 450 demo is the correct one. Let's see. Yep, 450 Moto 1 is even on the list in the server. So, all right. We're going to go ahead and do this now, and we'll do 250 Moto number 2 here in a bit. So, I'm sorry any 250 riders that were here expecting to see 250 Moto 2. We're going to do it like real life, where it's going 250, 450, 250, 450. And we have got the 450 class lined up on the gate here. Let's get them going here, folks. It's going to be 450 Moto 1 here at High Point. Oh, man, so many big names to choose from. Haley, LeClair, Holm, Gebhardt. Just to name a few as the board goes sideways, the revs are up, and the gate is down at High Point. 450 Moto 1 is off and running. A great start for Haley. A terrible start for a couple of our normal front runners. And it's going to be Haley versus Gebhardt for the whole shot. Gebhardt picks up the Racetech.com whole shot award. And it's going to be Haley moving into second as LeClair settles in right there. I think Devin Davis may have gone down going into the second corner. And it's Gebhardt leading at High Point. LeClair tries to jump to the outside, but Haley defends off well as they drop down the hill the first time. Gebhardt, Haley, LeClair right at the sharp end of the field, and then it looks like it might be an SYS Racing rider. It is. Ethan Parks up in fourth, just ahead of Brandon Holmes. As around the outside, LeClair trying to get on Haley. Not able to get him just yet. Tripling up the hill nicely. Haley downsiding it smooth as butter. And already Gebhardt opening up a little bit of a gap here so he doesn't have to worry about the pressure from behind with Haley and LeClair coming down the hill. Let's see if Gebhardt might even set sail out front, or if these two behind him might find their groove and start reeling him back in. But it is salty Walter Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5, who continues to lead here on lap number 1. Gebhardt looking to start making amends for some up and down rides he's had of late. Of course, this is a delayed broadcast, so this was back at the second round of the championship a few weeks ago, but still, even of late, Gebhardt has not been as strong as he normally is. As LeClair looks like he has now completed that pass on Haley to go up into second. And the defending outdoor champion, no red plates, as Haley won the opener. So 1 lap in the books here. 450 Moto 1 at High Point. Haley's putting all kinds of pressure onto the back of Alexis LeClair. LeClair responding well to the pressure. Look at that. Even from the middle rut, gets that smooth double in on the Carmichael double at the top of the hill, and then triples down the hill. Oh my goodness, absolutely flying right now. Alexis LeClair trying to keep with Gebhardt out front. Brandon Holmes has moved up to 4th, so we've lost Ethan Parks. Thomas Wilcox now up into 5th. And here's Joseph Pilsner in 6th. Braden Castellaneta right here in 7th. 8th for Robert Wilson. 9th for Justin Kelleher. And 10th was Eklund, but Anthony Pachone goes on by with Seth Garrett also mixed in. Adam Holm up into 11th. Is everybody in this midfield jockeying for positions early? Crucial not to fall when you're in these battles. Because if you're in a position like Adam Holm is at the front of this group, he just moved into 10th around Seth Garrett, you fall, and look at how close everybody still is here. You immediately lose 8-9 positions before you can even think about it. Rider down, that's Pachone, and it's a stack up in the corner, big stack up in the corner. Lots of guys getting hung up here. And it took Adam Holm down as well. And another rider that may have been Blakely, perhaps, on the BPC Husky that was down coming down the hill. And it completely changes this dynamic of a battle that's going on here. So many guys mixed in. Let's actually go on board with someone back here that can see all this stuff going on in front of him. Look at this absolute freight train going up the hill right now. So many riders stacked close together. On board with Dylan Copeland here. You can see Adam Holm just ahead of him, and then literally 6 guys taking off that jump at one time as they go up the hill. Oh, rider goes down. That looks to be maybe Cohenauer, perhaps, that was backwards, or was that Hunter Porch? It was one of the MV Films riders, to say the least. Man, look at this absolute freight train. There's so many guys stacked right together right now. Like, if we go up to the front of this group, which is currently headed by Pachone, look at how close everybody is right here. So there's a frantic battle going on, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then look at this freight train. It's just a constant stream of riders coming off the finish line jump and all battling for position early in this race. I mean, you normally do see these freight trains pretty early on in the motos, but kind of incredible how close everybody still is mixed up here. Peek back out front and see we got a battle slowly developing out front. Walter Gebhardt and Alexis LeClair set to do battle here. 5 minutes in the books, 25 minutes still to go, so a lot of time on the clock, but LeClair not one to waste time by any stretch of the imagination. He likes to get in there, make passes, and get out front as fast as possible. Because sometimes LeClair seems like he's in a battle with himself for how big of a lead he can pull on the rest of the field. Gebhardt responding well, quite well actually, to the pressure as LeClair made a small mistake and lost some time. Let's go back and keep some of these battles lively, though. Here's Robert Wilson putting some pressure onto Justin Kelleher on the elevated motorsports 625. Good start here for Kelleher, making some moves at the front of the field, trying to keep Robert Wilson behind him. Wilson around that outside on the 52. Nicely done there. Dropping down the hill, big table. Into the center of the track. Oh, Wilson, a little tuck of the front wheel, so Kelleher might get a better drive up the hill, but it seems like Wilson actually stood it back up and hooked the rut very well on exit. Kelleher still got it pretty close over the finish line jump, though, and their battle for 6 continues. Braden Castellaneta right behind them. So it's a little three-rider train, and actually it seems like Castellaneta on the 221 machine is closing up here on Kelleher. Oh, Wilson! Oh, he saved it! He barrel rolled in the bottom of the camera there, but he was able to save it, and Castellaneta does get that pass down on Kelleher, so just as Kelleher moved back into 6th, he drops back to 7th again because Castellaneta made the move. What a save, though, by Robert Wilson, and Ethan Parks back here in 9th, 10th for St. Laurent, 11th, Wilcox, 12th, Pachon, 13th is actually going to be Colt Mitchell on the 6th as he just got around Dylan Copeland. Kevin Gonzalez back here on the Takatoji 33 as well. Austin Bear, Austin Eklund, Hunter Porch, Fjellberg, and then Adam Holm coming through. Devin Davis now sneaking into the picture. He's trying to catch up to this freight train of riders that's battling from, where he is back down in here like 20th all the way up until 7th. And another rider just was down. That was Davis's teammate on the Takatoji number 33, Kevin Gonzalez. We got 4 riders in the air at the same time over the big quad. Oh, and a big crash there. I think that was Eklund who got into Porch, and Porch comes across the track to take down Holmes, and we got another Yamaha rider. That's actually a TM rider. That seems to be Wilcox's. So many riders just went by. Big benefactor there was Davis, who gained 4 positions for the price of 1, and he's tailing Dennis Fjellberg here. Oh, and Fjellberg just went down, so Davis getting another spot. He's going to move up into 16th as he's now finding his way into the points. Dylan Copeland. Oh, that was actually Wilcox there on the TM, so it was another TM rider that was down. Copeland just got around the outside of Pachon. Colt Mitchell dropping down the hill ahead of these guys, trying to go after William St. Laurent. Ethan Parks has got Brandon Holmes right in front of him, and then Robert Wilson continuing to battle with Justin Kelleher, who's putting in a great moto here on the 625 machine. He's going to get freight trained here, though, as 3 riders go right on by him. It's Wilson, Holmes, and then Ethan Parks behind that make the move on Kelleher. Oh, and Kelleher gets back up on the inside of Ethan Parks, gives him a little shove there. Not laying over for anything, though. Parks is going to go back to the inside and make that pass stick once and for all. Colt Mitchell sneaking into the back of this battle, too. You saw a flash of green coming down the hill. Oh, but he just got really sideways, and he went down. Colt Mitchell hitting the deck coming down the rollers. So Pachon, Copeland, Wilcox all go by. That's Austin Bear, and then Devin Davis is Kevin Gonzalez going to be the first one not to go by. So Mitchell gets up right behind Devin Davis. Mitchell now trying to fight back around Davis. Davis shuts the door, and Austin Bear trying to hold steady ahead of them. And nice move around the outside. Mitchell gets that pass back on Davis and triples to the inside to get around Austin Bear as well. So Mitchell wasting no time. 10 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap affair for 450 Moto number 1 here at High Point, the rebroadcast of High Point. This race commenced back on June 24th. It was the second round of the National Championship. I was not able to broadcast that evening as I was in the hospital. My wife would deliver our daughter the next day on June 25th. So we're rebroadcasting it right now, people. We're watching this race over again, seeing what exactly happened. We got Pachon down in transition there, so Davis, Bear, Gonzalez, Garrett, Eklund, Carlin, all going by as Pachon gets up behind the number 12 machine here. Carlin around the outside of Seth Garrett. A nice move for the General on the atom.com number 12. Don't see much of Carlin. We haven't seen him. I think we saw him at the opener perhaps at WW Ranch, but we did not see him last week at Southwick. Peek back out front and see if we've missed anything. We have not. Still Walter Gebhardt leading the way. Lexus LeClair right behind him, though. 2:03.2 to a 2:02.4. These guys laying absolute burners down out front. You can see on the map on the upper right-hand corner, the gaps are immense. So Gebhardt doing a fabulous job keeping LeClair at bay here. LeClair, one of the outright fastest riders this game has ever seen, can always put a hot lap down at any moment. And he clearly put one down. A 2:03.2 is no slouch on this racetrack, but a 2:02.4 up ahead of him. Gebhardt responded to that pressure. Doesn't seem like it's over just yet, though. 1.6 seconds is the gap. It seems like LeClair may be on a quicker one this time by. He's bringing that gap down slowly. They've opened up a slight lead on Jack Haley, who still sits back in the 3 spot. To the top of the hill they go, and lap time check this time by. It's a 2:04.6 to a 2:05.1, so both of them going slower this last time by than they had been going, but still running a blistering pace out front, and I do not want to leave some of these battles going on back here. Still Kelleher ahead of Wilson, and then William St. Laurent coming up. Oh, Wilcox just went down. Lays over the TM coming down the hill, and he's in a bad spot. He gets landed on there by Copeland, and it's a double fall off now as the general Race Carlin comes flying in. Seth Garrett squeaks on by. There goes Dennis Fjellberg on the 3 as Wilcox just gets going. Race Carlin jumps on the track ahead of him. So these battles just continue to be absolutely insane through the midfield. Wilcox trying to scrub up the hill and get up the inside of Carlin. Carlin trying to close up the gap and get up to Fjellberg. They're all chasing Seth Garrett on the number 92 VlastMX.com machine down the hill. I'll tell you what, I do not want to miss this battle out front. It's getting nice and close as LeClair has got it down under a second to Walter Gebhardt. Slowly creeping towards the halfway point of this moto. And this is make or break time for LeClair. This is normally when he either turns on the afterburners and goes beast mode, or starts making mistakes as the track continues to develop and he doesn't quite have the suspension setups dialed for it. So we'll see which LeClair we get today. Right now it seems like he is actually closing that gap down fairly rapidly on Gebhardt. It was about 3 seconds a lap and a half ago. It's now under a second. Jeremy Cohenauer getting lapped right there. Not exactly what the number 13 was hoping for tonight. Down the hill they go once more, and Gebhardt appears to have slightly reopened that gap out front. 1.5 seconds now, 2:04.1 to a 2:04.3, so again, matching each other's lap times. I just would hate to switch away from this battle because I feel like we're moments away from something happening between the two. Jack Haley, a lonely 3rd place right now. Joseph Pilsner, he's up in 4th, though. The SwapMotoLive.com number 58 is putting in a great ride here in Moto 1 at High Point. And halfway through this thing, looks like he has got no signs of slowing down. He's got Brandon Holmes behind him, but he's got a comfortable gap back to him. Holmes here on this number 62 rival decal machine. Robert Wilson has been in a battle literally this entire moto. Most of the time it was with Justin Kelleher, but he just gets passed here by Colton Mitchell on the 6 coming down the hill. Braden Castellaneta also following these guys in with Ethan Parks and Devin Davis right behind him. Davis with a cheeky inside line on the downhill sweeper there. Ethan Parks trying to close up as well. Here's Austin Eklund just ahead of Dennis Fjellberg. Adam Holm is further down the order. Kevin Gonzalez, Reed Young, Justin Kelleher, and Anthony Pachon all still tightly knit together here. Anywhere you go on these racetracks, it seems like there's good battles happening. Oh, Pachon. Woo! Man, how did he get that gap squeezed in there? But he gets around the outside of Kelleher. No idea how he squeezed that one in. And Kelleher sliding out coming into the first corner. So he's going to have to contest with Race Carlin, Wilcox, Carpenter, Seth Garrett all closing up. Looks like that's Race Carlin making the move on Kelleher, who just went down. Oh, Kelleher almost getting there with Blakely. Oh, Blakely hits the deck, but he fortunately bounces right back up. James Cohen. So these guys battling just outside of the points right now. Let's peek back up and find some more battles going on here. Looks like Colton Mitchell's caught up to the back of Brandon Holmes here. And the number 6 machine has quietly been charging all the way through the field. Look at the launch up the hill around the outside. And in the end, makes that pass look easy. Low lines the table down the hill. So much speed being carried. So Mitchell now, he moves up into, I believe this is the 5 spot for Colton Mitchell. It is. Brandon Holmes relinquishes that position. And 4 seconds up the road, Joseph Pilsner on the SwapMotoLive.com number 58. That is going to be the target Colton Mitchell has in his line of sight. Meanwhile, just a perfect race being ran by Walter Gebhardt out front. Just cannot, or LeClair seemingly cannot get to Gebhardt right now. The lap times have been so consistent, although we're about to come into a very tricky situation for both of them past the halfway point of this moto, as lap traffic is about to be aplenty. Got 3 riders stacked up right ahead of Gebhardt, and then another 4 group only about 10 seconds up the road. Sitting here watching LeClair go to work and see if he can bring this gap down. Seems like he's definitely running a pretty strong pace here. 205 dead to a 205.9, so that was about a second. That last lap alone that LeClair took out of the lead. And remember, these lapped riders that they're coming up onto, Gebhardt's going to be the first one to see them, so sometimes it's a benefit because the lappers will move out of the leader's way and then move back into the main line just as LeClair is getting there. But also, sometimes it's a detriment because the lappers are not too concerned about being lapped by the leader, or maybe they just are in a battle in their own right and don't think that much about it. And suddenly the blue flag comes up, they don't even notice it. Seemingly right now, though, Gebhardt's getting through them quite well, but you can see in the track map in the upper right-hand corner, he has got pretty much no room to breathe for the next 10 minutes or so in terms of lap traffic. There are so many riders still ahead of him that he's going to have to get around. Oh, riders down, and that takes Gebhardt down. Gebhardt was down, and that was the 71. I think that might be James Ohashi who takes Gebhardt down, as he was down in his own right on the backside there. And there you go. Lap traffic plays a factor as a downed rider puts Gebhardt on the deck, and LeClair now leads here. 450 Moto 1 at High Point. What an absolute bummer that was for Gebhardt. Unbeknownst to him, on the backside of a blind jump. And then more riders getting piled up here. Oh, and LeClair went down. Alexis LeClair has gone down. And Gebhardt just went down as well, but he didn't fall off the bike, so LeClair is going to get going just as Gebhardt gets going, mixed in with some lap traffic. That is Ohashi and another TMFR Racing machine. I can't quite see the number, but it was the 71 of Ohashi, I should say. And LeClair, just as quickly as he got the lead, coughs it back up, and now both of these guys have to be at least somewhat weary of Jack Haley, who's not too far behind them at this point. He's looking at about 6 seconds of a gap to get up to LeClair. But just another little mistake, fall off, crash, anything is all it's going to take, and Jack Haley suddenly becomes a player here. 450 Moto number 1 at High Point. 21 minutes in the books. 9 minutes and 2 laps left to go. As we settle in for the finish of this one. Uh-oh. Riders going down ahead of Haley. Does he see that they're down? Oh, he's jumping right to where they are, but he's going to nicely avoid that. And Colton Mitchell's moved up to 4th, so Joseph Pilsner now behind Colton Mitchell. Not sure if there was a mistake on Pilsner's part or if Mitchell has already gotten by him and just set sail at this point. But clearly the top 3 are so far gone. Tough to keep an eye on what's going on back here at this point, as Brandon Holmes now sits inside of the top 6 again. It's ahead of Robert Wilson, who, again, quietly putting together a pretty strong race. He was battling it out with so much. early in the moto, but he just has been methodically letting guys go down and taking full advantage of it to move up into 7th here. Devin Davis, from outside of the points, has found his way up into the top 10 as well. He runs 8th right now, and he's not too far off that battle for the 6th spot ahead of him. Adam Holm as well, a good ride, up to 9th. Good salvage ride here for the number 17. Last time we checked in on him, he was down at about 18th spot, so he's made some good spots back here and up into 9th. And Braden Castellaneta on the 221 runs in 10th. This battle between Wilson and Holmes seems to be our closest inside of the top 10 right now. See if the 52 machine can do something about the 62 machine ahead of him. Oh, Holmes is going to go down, and Wilson fortunate not to get collected there. Is that going to be a free position for Davis? It is, and Holm as well. So Holm and Holmes on the same stretch of racetrack, but that just moves Davis up to 7th, Holm up to 8th now. A little bit of a freebie for both. Robert Wilson now finds himself in 6th, chasing down Pilsner in 5th. 4th is Mitchell, 3rd is Haley. 2nd, of course, is still LeClair, and your leader is Walter Gebhardt. And, I mean, like I said, these gaps are enormous. Let's take a look at this right here. Here's Gebhardt out front. LeClair going through in 2nd. And we wait. Here's Haley in 3rd. So he's obviously quite close still. Keeping everybody honest. And then we wait. There goes 86 of St. Laurent a lap down. There's Austin Bear and James Ohashi going by. They're both a lap down as well. And this is just a waiting game and a half. Look at how far back everybody is from the top 3. 143, I believe that's Benny Landry going by. There's a 35 of Copeland. He's a lap down. 83, that's Peter Like. 257 of August Sanders, and the 72 of, I think that's James Wilcox. There's Colton Mitchell. I'm sorry, I just missed him, and I just accidentally pressed the wrong button. I keep doing that. Gosh. And then Joseph Pilsner even further back of Mitchell. So look, if we look at Pilsner right now, he is in the top 5, but he is over half the track behind or so from the leaders, maybe even more than that, because the leaders are coming up the hill, only have about 5 corners until the finish line, and Pilsner himself is only about 5 corners away from the finish line. It's incredible stuff how fast some of the leaders are in this game, because Pilsner's no slouch running top 5 in this moto, and yet he is still so far behind the front 2. And it seems like Gebhardt's re-established a nice lead for himself. LeClair has lost some more time somewhere. Here's LeClair in 2nd, and now Haley's right behind him in 3rd. 1.3 seconds between them. Boy, this would be big news for Haley if he can get this one done. 2:07.3 to a 2:13.4, and down under a second is that gap as Haley has got the fire in his belly right now. Trying to get around LeClair. He might have an inside move here. No, LeClair shuts the door. So Haley just settles in and tries to hook this rut in the first corner. Does he have something lined up in this second corner? He's going to this middle rut. LeClair carrying so much more speed to the outside. Gebhardt able to open up a little bit of a gap on both of them, so he's feeling comfortable out front as Haley. Oh, Haley goes down! Thought that was about to happen because he hooked that rut a little bit wrong. So Mitchell back here in 4th, nowhere close to him. How about Robert Wilson sneaking up here late in this one? He's bringing Adam Holm with him, and suddenly this 5th spot for Pilsner is not as easy peasy lemon squeezy as he'd like it to be. Wilson and Holm really closing this thing down here. What a great ride here by Robert Wilson. Not too often you keep a world champion like Adam Holm at bay for as long as he has. Not only that, he's bringing up Holm to make this battle interesting with Pilsner ahead of him. Oh, it's close. Oh, Holm gets into the back of Wilson. A little bit of cross jumping for both of them, so kind of incidental contact, but Holm not going to be thrilled about that one. He gets up still in the 7th spot, just ahead of Brandon Holmes. Devin Davis down in 9th, and Carlin inside of the top 10 right now as Wilson continues to try to apply some pressure here to Pilsner for the 5th position. Wilson trying to get a move done. Comes down the left side. Oh, what a scrub up the hill. Does he get it down the inside of Pilsner? He does. Robert Wilson moves up inside of the top 5. Really nice move. Pilsner now settles back into 6th. And our front 4 at least seems to be pretty set in. 5th is still up for grabs here. Adam Holmes 7th. Brandon Holmes is in 8th. Devin Davis putting a charge into him, though. Trying to close up. Devin Davis peeking inside. Oh, makes that move as Brandon Holmes got a little hookup in that rut at the bottom of the hill and had to stand the bike back up. So Davis now moves up into 8th. Here's Carlin down in 10th. Blakely, a nice charge up to 11th. Thomas Wilcox still runs in 12th. Here's Dennis Fjellberg in 13th. Armstrong right behind him in 14th. Castellaneta in 15th, right ahead of Eklund and Logan Leitzel. So Leitzel on the number 18 machine has not been in the points at all until late in this one, and now he's clawing his way deep inside of the points as down goes the inside of Austin Eklund, gets around Castellaneta. Castellaneta trying to fight back, though. And, oh, Leitzel gets into Eklund and pushes him out into the first corner and makes that pass stick. So now he's got to worry about Pachone coming up from behind. Kohenauer on the 13's a lap down. Close battles mixed in through here. All these guys jockeying for positions at the moment. Eklund putting some pressure on Leitzel. They're trying to push up to Armstrong. Fjellberg still right in front of the Canadian. Then Thomas Wilcox, Blakely, Carlin, Holmes, Davis. Oh, Pilsner got back around Wilson. We missed it somewhere. Joseph Pilsner has moved back inside the top 5, and Robert Wilson's going to have Devin Davis breathing down his neck before long. Time has expired. Where are the leaders? Oh, no, they must have crossed before time expired, so still looking at 3 to go currently. And it seems like Gebhardt has got LeClair pretty well covered off here. Our top 4 are so spread apart, and Adam Holm has now found his way up inside of the top 5, so we actually missed that Pilsner had coughed up a position. Brandon Holmes gets passed by Robert Wilson around the outside. And someone launching down the hill there going down. It was one of the Mad Cape riders. I don't think it was for position, though. Oh, Davis was just down. Devin Davis down out of the second corner. He gets up behind Blakely, and that, I think, relinquishes his top 10. No, he's still 10th. Still got a host of riders in front of him that he'd like to get for position, though. Trying to get around a lapped rider there on the inside is Blakely. think that's maybe Peter Like on the 83. Can't quite see the number. On board with Devin Davis here, though. Was that a position? Yeah, it was. Was that, that was not Blakely, but it was a Husky rider, I think. Maybe, oh, it's Robert Wilson. Oh, what a bummer for Wilson, who's been riding so well this moto. He drops outside of the top 10. Carlin moves back into the top 10. Devin Davis is now 9th. Giving chase to Chase Blakely here. And Brandon Holmes right ahead of Blakely, so Blakely has his eyes set on Holmes. All the while, Davis trying to close in behind him. Really close battle here, mixed together though. Blakely getting sideways, stands it up. Davis down the inside is going to make that pass on him. Then Davis gets the corner a little bit wrong, so Blakely is going to try to square him up, but then had to check up. So 2-lap board is now out here at High Point 450 Moto number 1. Getting wrapped up here. Blakely trying to keep pressure on Devin Davis. They're trying to close up on Brandon Holmes all the while. And it's anybody's race here for, I think they're battling for 7th right now. Yeah, Brandon Holmes is in 7th. Oh, Holmes stands it up, and there goes Davis up into the P number 7. But Blakely's still putting pressure on the Takatoji number 30 machine as Blakely on the 21. Desperate to get this position back. White flag is waving out front for Gebhardt. 3.8 seconds in it between him and LeClair. Keeping an eye on some of these battles further down the field, though. This is a tight one for 7th. Oh, Blakely lays it down. He's going to lose a lot of time right there. Got to be careful not to lose too much time. Brandon Holmes trying to sneak up in here. Robert Wilson's got back around Race Carlin to get inside of the top 10. And Thomas Wilcox trailing in behind them. Looks like Austin Eklund just got lapped. Oh, the General and the Robert Wilson battling it out. Can Wilson hold off the charge from the number 12 machine? Oh, that's not going to help right there. He got that corner a little wrong, and Carlin did it very well. Carlin going to try to sneak up the inside and make this pass happen. Just cannot quite get the power to the ground, though, as Wilson charges around the outside. Wilson jumping off the side of the track. Carlin stayed lower, and it's a drag race to the bottom of the off camber. Oh, Carlin trying to hold it. Wilson, for the time being, still has it under wraps. And we'll come back to this battle because up front, oh man, LeClair has got this thing pretty close with Gebhardt, but there's only one turn left to go. Out of the sweeper at the bottom of the hill and up the triple one more time. Into the final corner we go, and moto number 1 at High Point is going to belong to Walter Gebhardt as he crosses the line to take the win. LeClair misses out by 2 seconds in the end. Jack Haley has got 3rd, so wrapped up it's not even freaking close right now. Same for Colton Mitchell. He's so far ahead of these guys. Adam Holman 5th. Pilsner, great ride in 6th. Devin Davis trying to hold off that charge from Blakely. It is still going on. Oh, Blakely has a move down the inside. He's going to sneak up in there and get around Davis. Let's see if Davis has a rebuttal to that move. Oh, he's going to just avoid Blakely, who yards it up in front of him. And now Brandon Holmes is going to triple in and try to take advantage of it as well as he goes around the outside of Blakely. And that kind of ends that battle right there. Here is Carlin. He's gotten ahead of Wilson. Thomas Wilcox was the last man on the lead lap, so we're seeing all these guys continue their battles down to the checkered flag at this point, as 13 through 20 has already crossed the finish line. Looks like it was Eklund, Pachone, Armstrong, Fjellberg, and I don't know who the 43 is. I've drawn a blank, but Logan Leitzel, Braden Castellaneta, and the 42 I believe is Reed Young. That was all mixed up in there. Blakely trying to close up on Brandon Holmes here as late as he possibly can, as the 6th machine of Colton Mitchell crossed the line here in 4th. Blakely launching to the top of the hill here, trying to carry some speed around the outside. Holmes responds well, but it's a drag race to the bottom of the hills as the 17 of Adam Holm crosses the line 5th. Joseph Pilsner picks up a 6th in this one. And who wants 7th? Brandon Holmes and Chase Blakely going into the final corner together. Are they going to get together? Are they going to go down? Oh my goodness, around the outside. Blakely gets it done. Moves into 8th. A 9th for Holmes. A 10th for Race Carlin. As Devin Davis crossed the line 7th. Wilcox picks up 11th. And Wilson's going to pick up a 12th here. Whew, that was intense. So in the end, it was Reed Young who indeed finished up 20th. Castellaneta was 19th. Leitzel 18th. 17th was Kyle Carpenter on the 43. 16th for Dennis Fjellberg. Let's actually take a look at cuts. Looks like Armstrong lost a spot to Fjellberg on cuts. He moves to 15th. Anthony Pachone goes to 13th on cuts ahead of Austin Eklund, who ends up 14th. Wilson 12th. Wilcox 11th. Carlin 10th. Holmes 9th. Blakely 8th. Devin Davis 7th. 6th for Pilsner. 5th for Adam Holm, 4th for Colton Mitchell, 3rd was Jack Haley, 2nd LeClair, and the winner, Walter Gebhardt, 450, Moto number 1 at High Point. Well, we're going to go ahead and very quickly jump out of the game so I can get these demos into my folder. Let's find my demos folder. It's somewhere in here. No, it's not. Man, where did my demos folder go? Is it all the way at the bottom? Where's my demos folder? I'm an idiot. It's right here. Okay. Boom. 250 MX Moto 2 in there. And let's jump back in. All right. So which one? I think, because this one's named different, I think that's the right one. So Moto 1s are now complete at High Point. And coming up next is 250 Moto number 2. We saw Braden Carter pick up the win there in Moto number 1. Can he do it again? And as soon as we get loaded in, we're going racing. I'm taking no breaks here tonight, folks. Gonna try to get this stream wrapped up before 8 p.m. if I can. Probably not gonna happen because I still have to do 2 motos and 7 p.m. right now, but we're gonna do what we can to try to go as fast as possible. But again, if you're just tuning in, this is the rebroadcast of the High Point National in MX Simulator that was ran on June 24th. I was in the hospital as my wife was giving birth to our first child, so I was unable to broadcast it, but we're doing the rebroadcast now. And we just got Moto 1 of the 250 and 450 class in the book, going 250, 450, 250, 450, just like real life here tonight because we can. Because these are just demos. The race has already happened. We know, some people know exactly what the results look like, but I don't know. I didn't look at the results that night on purpose because I knew I'd have to rebroadcast this. And we've already had another race after this as Southwick happened last week. But before we get our 4th round started tomorrow night, which is going to be at Redbud, I wanted to go back and rebroadcast the 2nd round. Hence why we're doing it tonight. Alrighty, folks. 250 Moto 2 is getting lined up here at High Point. Can Braden Carter steal another win? Can Payson Johnson keep his points lead? All these questions have already been answered, but we're going to find out for ourselves here on this broadcast. I'm trying to hurry up, Trenton. I'm sorry that everybody's got so many freaking scrammed skin packs, bro. I'm loading up as fast as I possibly can. I'm not doing it on purpose. And we are loaded in, question mark, almost. I thought we had the 3 dots. What just happened? Almost loaded in. Any day now. Oh my gosh, it just did the 3 dots and then went away again. That normally means it was about to get loaded. Oh, it's taking forever. I swear, if Braden Carter gave me something that crashes my game, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. There we go. All right, time to go racing here. 250 Moto number 2 is on the gate. That board is going to go sideways. I'm going to find out who's going to win the 250 National here at High Point. Round number 2 of the championship. Who's going to get it done? Let's find out as we're off and running. Pretty good start for Dickerson. It's a land rush into the first corner. Looks like Gerst may have got to the corner first, as could not seem to go forward. Why am I stuck on Cole Gress? Timing gates are not loading. Timing gates are not loading. Is this a corrupt demo file, perhaps? I cannot seem to go to the leaders right now. Well, in the lead, if I can find them in this shuffled list of people. Payson Johnson's up here, but who is actually leading this race? It's not Jacob Hubbard. I can't find who's leading this race. It's not Payson Johnson either, though. There's 4 people ahead of Payson Johnson, and timing and scoring is not updating. Bryce Whelan is listed P15, but he's in second. So, I don't know what to do about this. I mean, we're watching 250 Moto number 2, but it's literally impossible for me to keep an eye on these battles for the lead without, because every time I switch to a new person, it's just going to go to where they were on the starting gate. Maybe, I mean, if they go 1 lap, certainly if they go a lap in, it's going to figure itself out, isn't it? There's no way they crossed the line and it shows people on lap 2 but still P15 or whatever. That doesn't make any sense to me. So let's see, up the hill the first time. I think it is Carter leading this. And over the finish line jump they go. Nope, lap 2, he's still P15. What? I don't know. I get the wrong demo file from Jeremy Cohenauer, and then I get a corrupt demo file from Braden Carter. So I don't know if I'll even be able to broadcast this 250 race, because this is going to be so hard. Like I can't even find Carter. Where is Braden Carter? There he is. So yeah, he's definitely leading this race right now, but I don't think that that's how that works, though. I've never seen. I'm I'm actually kind of confused. Like I want to do some sleuthing and like talk to JLV about this because this is really strange. Let me try to restart the demo because it's just gonna load up everybody in. So let's see. Cole Gress was the #1 gate pick holder or something like that, and I'm just gonna see if it fixes itself. The reason I don't think it's fixing itself is because the timing and scoring on the top of the screen is not showing anything. It's just showing blank numbers as we are doing a soft restart of 250 Moto 2 to see if it fixes itself. But yeah, they're all going through timing gates right now. I'm still not updating. It's Cole Gress with the lead. And yeah, the bar on the top says lap 1 still. So let's jump ahead. I still have accurate skip on, so this should work no problem. But it also shows for these guys, there's no timing differences. Like Siebel, it says he's P3. It looks like he's in about 15th spot here. I don't know what to do with this. Like the only thing I think I can do is just skip the entire race forward and then we can show the results. But I mean, we could just show the results anyway. Yeah, like this is... I have no idea what to do. Well, this sucks because I really did actually want to get both of these motos in, and even if I didn't have the right demo file from Cohenauer, I still thought maybe we'd be able to at least get it off with Braden Carter giving this one to me, but I don't have it either. And right now... Huh. I can't skip to the leaders. Like, I guess the only thing I could do, and this is going to kind of suck to watch, is I'll just go to the leader, which right now, if I can find him, is Braden Carter, and we'll just watch the leaders or something like that. Yeah, I mean, this is... it is really weird. I've still never seen this before. And yeah, so it shows lap 1 upper right hand corner of the screen for the camera files, but it shows lap 2 for Braden Carter right now. But it still says he's P8. So it looks like Carter is leading this thing on lap 2 of the race, as I think that's Payson Johnson behind him. The reason this is going to be a pain in the butt is lap traffic. Like the second we get to lap traffic, it's going to be so much harder to follow like who is actually in the lead. I know that we'll be able to keep a close eye on it for the most part, but I just don't know what to do with this. Braden Carter continues to lead here in what was 250 Moto 2 at High Point, with Payson Johnson giving chase from second. I'm going to try to sneak this file away from Alex Efforts and see if it works when he sends it over to me. And hopefully we'll get the right 250 Moto number 2 lined up again. But for the time being, we'll just watch this battle for the lead, and then I'll fast forward to this part of the race with the new demo and see if we're caught up. See if I can go back to find second. It's actually Bryce Whelan in second. I thought it was Payson Johnson. It's not. It's Bryce Whelan. Payson Johnson is in third. And there he is. So you can see from Payson's perspective. Shows him 27th. He did a 2:06.4 last time by. All right. Efforts gave me the demo, so let's try to get it in real quick. Let's keep watching them battle for the time being. Oh, press the wrong button, my bad. So we're watching P3, even though it shows him as P27. Payson Johnson right behind Bryce Whelan and Braden Carter. Braden Carter just went off the track. And Bryce Whelan has assumed the race lead as we saw that exchange happen from Payson Johnson's perspective here. Top three absolutely gone, already 5.5 minutes into this thing. And now Whelan goes off the track, so here comes Carter back down inside of him. Oh, and then Whelan goes down. So that is a good point for us to stop. 5:40 into the moto. Let's go ahead and pause. And oh, this still isn't done downloading. How big is this file? Efforts. I didn't realize demos were over 100 megs. I don't know how. Oh, it's 150 megs. That's right. You can see it. All right, so let's go for another 20 seconds, so that I'm on a hard 6 into the moto. .553 on the clock. Payson Johnson closing up on Bryce Whelan. And 6 minutes in, dead. We'll stop it there. Load up efforts. 250 Pro Moto 2 demo. Gotta do this. Demos. Bam, bam, bam. Can I force reload this and get the demo in? I don't know if that works. Let's see. Force reload. Oh, it's just the track reloading. Never mind. That's not going to work. So I'll have to back out. All right. So it was... it's 250 Pro Moto 2 round 2. There we go. All right, so let's load in again and see if it works. This is my last ditch effort. We're gonna go to 6 minutes into the moto. Thank you, Alex, and thank you Braden in the first place for even giving me the demo, because Cohen Hour gave me the wrong demo. And oh wow, it just said loading bikes done and then reverted back. Oh, let's see what we can get going here. Load in, load in, load in. Loading into 250 Moto 2. Oh, man. Should have put some music on while we waited. Oh, well. Almost loaded in. Any second now. Coming up. We're going to get in. Come on. Oh, man. Come on. MX. Swim you later. Don't like that it turned into a loading symbol. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Me telling to stop, it worked. Man. Oh, chat. Oh, please work. I want to go to bed at a normal time tonight. That'd be great. Come on! Oh my gosh. What just happened? Okay, that was... I thought I just crashed the game. Come on. Still loading bikes. We can do it. I promise. We can do it. We're doing it. So if you're just joining us right now, what happened was Jeremy Konauer gave me the demos for the... Oh, please tell me this works. It still has cold grasses first. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what's going wrong. All right, I'm just going to leave it off the start and see if it works. This is supposed to be 250 Moto number 2. We were already 6 minutes in. Let's see if it works. I'm just going to keep pressing forward and see if we can get to P1 as the gate drops. 250 Moto number 1. Give me somebody else other than cold grass. Are you... Why is it not working? Is this every demo now? This isn't just corrupt demos. This is like something wrong with my game or something. Or why? It's not even working. Still not working. Still shows cold grass P1. Clearly not P1. I don't know what watch it in race mode means. That doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't know what to do. I already did restart my game because I had to go out of game to get Efforts' demos. So I did already restart my game once. I guess I'm just going to have to move to 450 Moto 2, but before I do that, I'll just... I mean, I have accurate skips, so let's just jump ahead. And look at Jeremy Konauer just messaged me. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, he says this one's working for him. So maybe my game is corrupt, but we're going to try to see if Konauer's demo works before I give up entirely. We're going to try one more time. Race against is in the top. So it's playback only, race against. Gotcha. So if I do this, it might work. Let's try on Efforts' demo. Oh, okay, I see. So now it puts me in the race, but you know, that might work. Let's see. So is it still got cold grass first? Let's see. That means I can't skip. So if we're screwed, we're screwed. Oh, it does work. Wow, but I can't skip, so we are definitely stuck watching this for the first 6 minutes. So there we go. It worked. Thank you for the racing. I've never heard of that before. I've always seen playback only, but race against is working. So Braden Carter, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why was playback only working for the other two demos, but now that is so confusing. I don't know what just happened. Interesting. Okay, so 250 Moto number 2 just got started here from High Point. And Braden Carter's leading the way. Bryce Whelan is in second. Jacob Hubbard is in third. Magnetti's in fourth. And Payson Johnson is inside of the top 5. But we already knew this because we got 6 minutes into the moto beforehand. So now we're just seeing how we got there. Well, I was going to skip ahead to 6 minutes into the moto is what I was saying. So now we're just rewatching the first 6 minutes of the motos, which we already kind of saw. We kind of knew what happened. So we'll just kind of relive some of the moments that we just saw. That's Braden Carter leading the way. Bryce Whelan settling into second. And again, this is the rebroadcast. Is High Point National 250 moto number 2 on the track right now. And Carter, like we saw earlier already, holding the gap on Bryce Whelan. Jacob Hubbard, he was up in third early on, so we're going to keep an eye on him. See why exactly he actually fell outside of the top 3 early. Yeah, I'm going to stick it out. I'm not going to... I mean, we're already 2 minutes into this race at this point anyway, so time is clicking on by, no problemo. But, man, that's still so confusing. Like, I almost want to email JLV and ask him why that is, or I guess DM him, because people are trying to email him and he won't answer. All right, so Hubbard here in the 3 spot. We're going to see... why exactly he dropped back from third. Well, there's the move that Payson Johnson got on him to move into third in the first place. So it looks like Hubbard just actually got straight up past, which is good news for him. And no worries, I see Konauer in chat saying that he's sorry for the demo mix-up. I mean, it's no big deal. Honestly, it's my fault that when I got them, I didn't check them, which I definitely should have done just to make sure that they were actually the motos. So, put the blame on me. I've had these demos sitting in my my folder for like 3 weeks. I never even checked them. So now we're getting back to close to where we were before. We were 6 minutes into the moto when I stopped it. We're 3.5 minutes in right now. Jacob Hubbard just got passed. Here's Luke Magnetti battling with Benjamin Saves. Isaiah Dickerson coming down as well. Roy Mitchell with a much better start this time. Mitchell, remember, he was dreadful in the first moto. No points scored for him after he finished second at the first moto at WW Ranch at the opening round, which at this point was a month ago. But to these guys, it was only a week before this. So everybody funneling over for the finish line jump one more time. 4 minutes down. And a great little battle brewing here. It's Hubbard, Magnetti, Saves. Or is that, yeah, Magnetti, Saves, Dickerson, and Mitchell. Little 5-rider train. Mitchell trying to apply the pressure to the back of Dickerson. Magnetti looks like he might have a run around the outside of Hubbard, and there he is, making the move. Luke Magnetti, Mom Spaghetti, making a nice pass there on the 46. Oh, Hubbard sneaks back down the inside. That's going to be a nice move if he gets it to stick. Oh, it's so close, though. Oh, he almost went over back of himself there. And pulling alongside again, do we got dualies? Kinda. Not true dualies until you're side by side throwing some fat whips, though. Oh, Hubbard and Magnetti just absolutely throwing caution to the wind, battling it out. Oh, Dickerson got the old booterino there from Benjamin Saves. So let's go back up front, because now we're about to come to the point where we were in the demo. Bryce Whelan just went down ahead of that group that we were just watching. But Braden Carter and Payson Johnson were battling for the lead, as we saw in the demo beforehand, and now we are back to fully right where we were as we come up to the 6-minute mark right now. Is exactly where I had paused it, and now everything after this is stuff I haven't seen at all. So let's go ahead and dive into this intense battle between Braden Carter and Payson Johnson. Of course, Payson Johnson ended up third in the first moto behind Seabolt. So even if he comes up and can take the win away from Carter, it's not the overall victory, as Carter would go 1-2 on the day. You know what would have been fun that I just now thought of is, since it is racing the demo, I'm doing the race back mode or whatever. For the first 6 minutes, it would have just been fun to see how well I could have done against all these guys, but too late for that now. I probably would have been in about 35th, if I'm being honest with you. Although at one point I may have been in 34th when I was good at this game. So 7 minutes now in the books, 23 minutes and 2 laps to go here in Moto 2. Braden Carter and Payson Johnson pulling away out front. Magnetti has moved up into third after that crash from Whelan, and Whelan looks like he got up here in the 5 spot. He's right behind Jacob Hubbard still. Oh, Whelan down again. Swap sideways, and in transition at the bottom of the hill is going to get passed by several people here. Up to the other side, there's the first sign there of Tyler Lang peeking in on the 14. Colby Eagland also back here. Got Bryce Whelan peeking down the inside of Jaden Wilson, makes that move, and Lang follows suit. Nice move there. Let's go ahead and head back up front, because I just noticed Payson Johnson's got this thing down under a second, and it's starting to get nice and fresh out here. Can Johnson reel in Carter for this lead? Reeling him in is one thing, passing him is another thing. Oh, let's try to square him off in that first turn, but just couldn't get it. It's just the two of them. They got a nice lead right now on Magnetti, back in the 3 spot. Johnson going to try a far inside line here. Haven't seen many people try that, but it seems like it worked pretty well. He's still got a great drive out of the corner. And another far inside line. So Johnson trying some different lines here. It seems like they're working pretty well for him. Oh, Carter, a little mistake. Johnson trying to take advantage. Triples down the inside and makes the move, but Carter jumps back underneath him, and they get together. Johnson goes down. Oh, Braden Carter goes for the 2-2 down the inside and just puts Payson Johnson right back onto the ground. We've got drama already here in Moto 2. Braden Carter taking no prisoners tonight. He wants to go 1-1 here tonight and get maximum points against Payson Johnson. Interesting maneuver right there. Magnetti settles back into third. He was not able to get around Johnson. That's just gives you an idea of how big their lead was already 10 minutes into this moto. The top two were gone at the front, as Magnetti was not even able to pass Payson Johnson, who fell there. So this battle for the 3 spot right now between, oh, Magnetti, a mistake. Roy Mitchell able to get around him and move back up into the 4 spot. And Mitchell, that's a lapped rider that's down there. Is that lapped rider just laying in the corner there? That lap rider is just laying in the corner. I don't know who that is. Must be someone who is dead last right now, perhaps? It's not me. Must be Alex Carlo. So Roy Mitchell trying to catch back up to Luke Magnetti. Benjamin Saves trying not to lose this little group here. And Payson Johnson is about 3 seconds behind Braden Carter, so we'll keep an eye on that battle when we can. Roy Mitchell putting so much pressure on the back of Magnetti here, but the rookie on the 107 BPC Husqvarna is responding well thus far. Mitchell, a veteran of this game, known on the forums as Big Asian Guy. Been around so long that he was even the captain of Team America back in 2012 at the Motocross Simulator of Nations. Makes that move past Magnetti to get up into third. Benjamin Saves still back here in fifth. Trevor Spencer with a good sixth place on the first opening laps here. Tyler Lang 7th, Hubbard 8th, Eaglin in 9th, and Zach Prokop right now running in 10th. Isaiah Dickerson 11th, Vanderbeek is 12th, Trent Adams 13th, Jaden Wilson 14th, Kevin Cutie 15th, Kamar Glover 16th, Cooper Hunt is 17th, James Wilcox 18th, Trent Shepard is 19th, and Bryce Whelan is 20th. Rogers, Fitzpatrick, McDonald, Cross, Jeremy Siebold, he was second in the first moto, he's 25th right now. He has some time to work with, obviously. 17 minutes to go. But going to be disappointed with this result after a very solid first moto here at High Point. All right, peeking on back out front. Still Carter leading, but Johnson trying to close that gap back down again. It looks like his lap times have dropped 2:05.5 to a 2:07.2 last time by, so Johnson closing back in, and curious to see if Payson Johnson catches Braden Carter, if there's going to be some contact as a rebuttal to the move that Carter put on him. Ooh, Johnson, I thought he was clipping the top of that jump there, but he's pulled the bars up and got right over the top of it. Man, Johnson's absolutely flying right now. He's got this gap down to about a second. So curious to see what's going to happen. 2:05.9 to a 2:07.6. So again, clawing away just about a second and a half a lap every single time by as he reels in Braden Carter. I'd have to imagine this is not going to be the cleanest pass I've ever seen if he gets around him on track without a crash from Carter. Johnson coming up, though. Carter just goes to the inside, and around the outside goes Payson Johnson. Johnson cuts across the track and kind of shuts the door. Now Carter shoots back underneath and repasses him, and it's a drag race down the hill. Johnson trying to get down to this far inside line. Looks like he's not going to take the bait and try to take him out. Round the outside, Payson Johnson into the lead here at High Point. Oh, gosh. Man, that is so weird. They are going through people who are disconnected I thought for sure that person was just laying on the jump and they went right through him. Oh, down goes Carter. He got into the back of Johnson. I don't think it was a brake check. I think that was just the way it kind of happened, but Carter goes down the exact same spot that Johnson had gone down 2 laps prior. Benjamin Saves moves up to 3rd. Luke Magnetti's 4th. Trevor Spencer is 5th. Tyler Lang and Colby Eaglin battling it out for 6th right now. So halfway into this moto, let's go ahead and do a really quick top 20 rundown as everything is still somewhat spread apart. On lap 8 right now. And like I said, halfway through the moto, this one is going to be brought to you by the folks at RaceFactoryGaming.com, because even though I got the wrong demo for this 250 moto, they still do a terrific job over there. Jeremy Cohenauer and everybody over at RaceFactoryGaming.com is where you want to head over if you want to get involved with this race series and either race in the pro or amateur divisions of the classes. They have an NA, they have an EU, and I think they have an AU series that they still run for the national championship. Definitely a good place to get involved and get your start in pro MX Simulator racing. RaceFactorGaming.com, your one-stop shop for pro motocross in MX Simulator. Payson Johnson, Panini Motorsports number 351, leads the race. Braden Carter, QM1 number 32, runs in 2nd. Luke Magnetti on the BPC number 107 runs in 3rd. Tyler Lang on the MV Films number 14 runs in 4th. 5th for Colby Eaglin on the Panini Motorsports number 25. 6th now Benjamin Saves on the Architect number 165. 7th for Roy Mitchell on the JDR SD Suzuki Factory Racing number 25. 8th is Jacob Hubbard on the Vlastimex.com number 46. 9th is Isaiah Dickerson on the MV Films number 26. And 10th, Zach Prokop on the number 36, actually, Integrity Machine. Trevor Spencer runs 11th for SwapMotoLive.com on the 192. Jaden Wilson back here running in 12th on the number 720 JDR Machine. 13th for Trent Adams, Takatoji Racing's number 50. Maxime Vanderbeek runs in 14th here on the Impact number 151. 15th for James Wilcox on the Mad Cape 172. I believe that's the number. Yep. Dylan Cavacuti runs 16th on the 177 Takatoji ride. 17th for Tanner Rogers on the 499 Mad Cave Machine. 18th for Bryce Whelan on the Panini Motorsports number 34. 19th now, Jeremy Siebold up into the points on the number 19 Panini Motorsports ride. And 20th, Kamar Glover, SwapMotoLive.com 189. That rounds out our top 20, brought to you by RaceFactorGaming.com. Oh, Carter right in the nose there. We got a 3-rider battle for 3rd as Lang and Eaglin both moved around Magnetti. Oh, Lang, huge scrub coming down the hill there. But Eaglin is just putting all kinds of pressure on the number 14 machine. Does not want to let him go. Curious to see lap times for these guys. Oh, Eaglin down the inside. Is he going to get that move done on Lang? Lang's trying to fight back, but Eaglin will shut the door at the top of the hill, perhaps. Indeed, he will. Nicely done for Tyler Lang. Or, I'm sorry, for Colby Eaglin to get around Tyler Lang, I should say. Luke Magnetti and Benjamin Saves still back here licking their chops, hoping for something to happen. And again, as we run right now, Braden Carter will pick up the overall win with 1-2 scores to the 3-1 that Payson Johnson's putting on the board. But to start the season with 1-1-3-1, there's nothing to be disappointed about that for Payson Johnson. Johnson looking smooth as butter out front. Eaglin Lang still back here. Luke Magnetti and Benjamin Saves getting into a bit of a duel amongst each other. Saves trying to peek down the inside on that 165, but not quite able to get it just yet. Now they triple up the hill. There it is. There's the move Saves gets on Magnetti, who blew the rut and then tried to hop back in. and ended up getting put back onto the ground. So now Jacob Hubbard comes into the mix, as does Roy Mitchell. And Dickerson still has Jaden Wilson right behind him. Top 10 pretty well spread apart amongst each other, though. Closest battle perhaps seems to be this Hubbard, Mitchell, and Hubbard closing up on Magnetti ahead of him. Little battle. It's not so much of a battle because they're not actually racing each other just yet. It's still just little gaps in between each of them. But Hubbard definitely closing this gap down rather quickly. Oh, but that's going to be a mistake he was not wanting to make, as Roy Mitchell takes advantage of it to go around the outside of him. Get that spot taken away. And setting sail after Magnetti ahead of him. Benjamin saves, dropping down the hill in front of all these guys. Tyler Lang up to the top of the hill. Colby Eaglin getting away from him. Carter, Johnson. Like I said, pretty spread apart. 20 seconds and 5 seconds back to Eaglin in third. Another 2 seconds back to Lang behind him. 4 seconds back to Saves. Another 6 back to Magnetti. Another 2 back to Hubbard. 5 back to Isaiah Dickerson. Roy Mitchell only a second behind him, and Jaden Wilson's right in there, so 8 through 10 pretty close. Trevor Spencer just ahead of Trent Adams by about a second. Oh, this is a good battle. As Bryce Whelan's trying to move forward, he's getting around Dylan Cavacuti, and he's bringing Jeremy Seabolt with him. So dig outside of the top 10 a little bit and find a battle you will. There's Seabolt on the 19, closing up on the 177 of Cavacuti. Whelan already putting so much pressure on Vanderbeek up there on the 151. So both... Oh, there goes Whelan, and Cavacuti kind of followed him there, so he swung wide. Seabolt taking advantage of that, and now he's trying to go after Vanderbeek on that 151 as well. Salvage moto here for Seabolt. Ooh, gives a little shove to Vanderbeek. Gets to the inside, closes the door off, and makes that pass. Well, it looks like Braden Carter's being caught by Colby Eaglin a little bit up there. We'll have to peek back up front and see what's going on, but just keeping an eye on Seabolt as he closes up on Tanner Rogers. Zach Prokop, Trent Adams, Trevor Spencer, all these guys mixed in. Here's a battle. Roy Mitchell and Luke Magnetti again. Trying to dispute here for, I believe this is 8th. And it looks like Roy Mitchell may have just locked down that position, actually. Seeing riders laying all over the track, and unfortunately I think that's just how it goes if they disconnected on a demo. It just leaves them there. What, Roy Mitchell about to pass the 148 of JLV? No, I'm just kidding. Seems as though the 148 is probably somebody else. Let's see who it is scrolling across the top of the screen. It is Jonathan Alexander getting past. He's in 23rd right now. So the leaders are starting to reel on by him. You can see Tomich right there is disconnected, but stood up in that rut. Eaglin definitely has got that gap down a little bit to Carter. It's not terribly close just yet, but 3.5 seconds in it, a 2:09.1 to a 2:11.7 last time by. So Eaglin feeling the flow right now. He's got 5 minutes and 2 laps left to work with to try to get to Braden Carter. Oh, that's a big mistake, though. Oh, and he goes down. Stood it up in the rut, went across, and over the bar as he goes. And here comes that battle coming from behind him. There goes Saves. And that is not for position the 194, but Lang right behind the 194 is position, and Eaglin gets going just ahead of Lang, but now Benjamin Saves is ahead of the number 24 machine. And, oh, Eaglin almost got into the back of him. Battle for third is on here. Tyler Lang trying to throw his name into the hat as well. Make this a three-rider battle. Up the hill they go. It looks like Lang has definitely closed that gap down. Three riders all so close together as Eaglin tries to sling around the outside to get Saves. He's going to do it, but Saves gets a better drive, almost runs into the back of him, and Lang's trying to squeeze around all of them as he goes to the outside, gets around Saves, and now puts the pressure onto the back of Colby Eaglin. Can't quite get it just yet. Let's see if he's got a different line that he likes down here at the bottom. Eaglin's going to go middle, outside, and Saves almost got into the back of Lang. Now Lang has to shut the door on him again. Down the turning rollers down the hill. Lang seems like he got them a tiny bit better than Eaglin. Can he close up enough, though, to make something happen for a position? Got to get the pressure firmly placed on the back there of the 24 machine. Really make him think about who's back there. Jumping way down this hill. Eaglin, at least for the time being, hold him at bay. They're 25 seconds off the lead, so they're not really thinking too much about going forward at this point. Top three is going to be where they'd want to end up sitting. Oh, Eaglin makes a mistake and misses the inside rut here. Lang doesn't get it clean, though, and that costs him some time. So Eaglin able to extend a small bit of the gap back. Drag race up the hill. Eaglin getting sideways. And down the inside goes Lang. There's still bar to bar as they drop back down the hill again. Lang trying to hold position, coming to sweep in from the outside. Can Eaglin hook this inside rut well enough? No. Lang gets it and gets the drive up the hill. He's moved up to third. Now Eaglin's going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to make a pass back here. He's so good at that middle rut. Right now, though, Lang looks like he's got him somewhat covered off, at least for the time being. No real pressure being applied just yet. And actually a small little gap developing at this point. They're 13 seconds off of Carter in second, though. So like I said, I think they're really just going to have to be satisfied with this third spot. But this battle seems to be far from over. I'm telling you, Eaglin does not want to let Lang slip out of his grasps. Lap traffic being a bit of a factor, though. That was Kamar Glover on the 189. Does a nice job to eventually slide to the inside and get out of the way there. So this battle's become a little bit of a stalemate. Hubbard's in fifth, Saves in sixth. Dickerson is ahead of Mitchell in seventh now. Although Mitchell trying to fight back there on the 25. Number 26 and 25 in the program book, battling it out for 7th and 8th on the racetrack right now. And there's Hubbard, actually. So Hubbard just went down, and now he ends up sandwiched between both of them. Hitting some huge braking bumps coming down the hill there. Looks like Mitchell just getting a little bit fed up with Hubbard ahead of him because he's losing touch with Dickerson up the road. So Mitchell's going to try something here, anything to make this pass. Still can't quite get it to stick though. And Mitchell seems like he's lost pace a little bit there. Meanwhile, Dickerson's catching up to Benjamin Saves a little bit here, and Saves just went down, so Dickerson is going to move around him. There goes Hubbard, there goes Mitchell, and Saves in one foul swoop has lost 3 positions. Dickerson now finds himself in 6th, I believe this is. No, it's 5th actually. P5, Isaiah Dickerson. Good ride for him. Braden Carter, still about 13 odd seconds or so back of Payson Johnson, who I think is going to get the white flag this coming time by. It was very close if he didn't. Yeah, I think white flag coming by this time by. And you want to talk about starting the season off on a right foot. 2 moto wins to start the year for Payson Johnson. Gets himself the red plate. Picks him up a new team. He was privateer there at WW Ranch and gets on to Panini Motorsports for this round, the second round. And goes 3 and potentially 1 here in the second moto to extend that points lead from WW Ranch, as he's about to take the white flag here. Unfortunately for his sake, it's not going to keep the perfect season alive, though, because he cannot win this overall, given the situation that Braden Carter's in, having won the first moto. Finishing second is going to get him more points on the day than Payson Johnson's 3-1 will get him. But still, to start the season, first and second overall, 1-1, 3-1 scores. I think if you told Payson Johnson before the season that he could get those scores, he would absolutely have taken it. So certainly nothing to complain about. And obviously going to take that points lead to Southwick, which you've already seen how it shook down at Southwick, but still will have the red plate as we head into Redbud tomorrow night for the 4th round of the championship. Just so impressed with this kid, how he's managed to take this scene by storm. Everybody keeps telling me he's not a true rookie, and always got to reiterate that being really fast in the game is one thing, but being quick over 30 minutes plus 2 laps, having to deal with 39 other riders on the track, and most of the time having guys that are really close to your pace, pushing you, putting pressure on you, and to be able to last this long as well as he's done, it's impressive stuff. So Johnson working on just about 3 or 4 corners left here for taking home this second moto win. Up to the top of the hill here one last time. And he's going to drop down into the valley and hit the dreaded off camber for one last time as well. Payson Johnson stamping another moto win to his tally book, and he's going to take home second overall in the day with it. But how about it? He keeps the red plate after his dominating performance at WW Ranch as Payson Johnson comes through and wins Moto 2 at High Point. Nose wheelies down the hill, but the man of the day, he won the first moto. He's going to bring it down in the last corner here to pick up second. 1-2 performance, takes the overall. The High Point National goes to Braden Carter. Tyler Lang trying to navigate some lap traffic here. Looks like he's going to end up third. He's going to have to double this jump. Hopefully he doesn't get landed on, as some lap riders ahead of him continue their battle, but Lang will cross the line third. Eaglin back here looks like he's got 4th. Barring a disaster, Dickerson down in 5th. Jacob Hubbard is in 6th. Benjamin Saves is in 7th. Roy Mitchell's in 8th. And Jeremy Siebold is clawed all the way up to 9th. So second in the first moto, salvaging a 9th in this one. Again, barring something going wrong for the runners ahead of him. But Eaglin already crossed the line 4th. Dickerson across the line in 5th. There goes 6th across the line is Hubbard. 7th for Benjamin Saves. And just ahead of Seabolt here, Roy Mitchell goes across in 8th. 9th for Jeremy Seabolt confirmed. Magnetti come across here in 10th. Jaden Wilson will be 11th. Tanner Rogers looks like he's got 12th pretty locked up here. Trent Adams trying to pick up 13th. Should be able to do so ahead of Trevor Spencer in 14th. Zach Prokop coming down the hill in 15th. Maxime Vanderbeek 16th ahead of Dylan Cavacuti in 17th. 18th for Trent Shepard and 19th for Cooper Hunt. They're battling it out. Shepard goes down. Cooper Hunt's going to pick up 18th there. Is Shepard going to drop out of the points is the question, though. Sullivan goes by for 19th. Shepard in 20th. Here comes Wilcox into the final points-paying position. It is never fun to go an entire 30-minute moto and not score points, especially when someone like Shepard here, he was in 18th, he was in a spot to score points, and now he's outside looking in. He's got to get around Wilcox here with a couple turns to go. Cavacuti's crossed in 17th. Oh, Shepard sends it into Wilcox and goes down, and that's going to spell an end to his chance at some points here in Moto 2. Cooper Hunt crosses 18th. 19th goes to the 65 of Luke Sullivan. And 20th is going to go to James Wilcox. Unfortunately, Shepard going to just miss out here on the points after being 18th with a few turns left to go. Unfortunate for him. And let's see, are we still waiting on anybody, or do we need me to disconnect, I guess? I guess I just need to finish the moto. No, there we go. It just needed me to cross the timing gate. Okay, so let's get an accurate look at cuts. And nothing changed at all, actually. So interestingly enough, nothing changed. But Payson Johnson has won the second moto here. Braden Carter wins the overall in the 250 class at High Point. And that is now going to take us into the final race of the night. It is the 450 moto number 2. We already did 450 moto number 1 in between the 250 motos. That one was won by Walter Gebhardt, leading home a LeClair Haley podium with Colton Mitchell finishing 4th. So of that top 4, who's going to come through and win this second moto, or will someone else get into the mix? We're going to have to find out here right now. And as it takes forever to load in, I'll go ahead and open up some questions to the chat if you guys have anything you'd like to ask. I'll try to answer it real quick before we load in. But as soon as I get loaded in, we're going straight into 450 moto number 2. Hello, Matthew Crawford, Ty Plays. What's going on, guys? Good to see you. How is being a dad, and how's your dad bod looking? Being a dad is awesome. It's one of the best things ever in my life. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun so far. And my dad bod is not on point, actually. I'm starting to lose weight again because so much of my day is taken up helping out my wife or working or spending time with my daughter that I'm not eating as much, which has happened before in my life. I just lose weight because I just don't eat. I don't get hungry. I'm too busy focused on other things. Honestly, when I became a gamer, I actually lost a lot of weight again because I just sit at my desk for many hours and not eat. I don't know, something about my metabolism. I just kind of worked out in my favor. So I'm losing weight again, but I don't know, maybe the dad bod will come back around. Who won first moto? It was Walter Gebhardt leading home Alexis LeClair, Jack Haley, and Colt Mitchell. Adam Holm ended up 5th. What kind of bike do I have in real life? I have a 2002 Honda CR 250 two-stroke that got 3 or 4 years ago now, and we refurbished, put a new FMF pipe on it, and some sweet FamMX graphics. Really nice bike. If you head over to my Instagram page, at Kellen Brauer, which is in the description below, I believe, you can actually check out the bike because I post it every now and then. All right, almost loading in. Nate, I'll trade you bods. Yep. Do I do anything besides gaming? Yeah, absolutely. Most of my day is taken up by my job. I'm the online content editor at RacerX Online. So I cover motocross day in and day out. I go out and I do video shoots and go to races and interview riders and athletes and things like that. So a lot of my day is taken up by that, but I also like spending time with my wife and my new kid, and I go riding dirt bikes from time to time. So yeah, I do a lot of different stuff other than just play video games, of course, as everybody should do. But it's time for 450 Moto number 2. Let's go ahead and drop that gate here at High Point for the final race of the night. Off and running. Oh, contact, and LeClair has gone down. Adam Holm almost got the whole shot, then some more contact. It's Dylan Copeland who ended up getting the whole shot there. Copeland away from Porch, Kyle Carpenter, James Armstrong, Anthony Pachone, James Ohashi, Robert Wilson, Sabrina Ritzer with some good starts. I see Brandon Holmes, Jeremy Cohenauer's up in there. So many unfamiliar faces at the front of the field, and it's Dylan Copeland leading. Unbelievable. Actually, notice now, as you guys mentioned, I forgot to force reload the track, so it's going to look a little rougher than it actually was. You're going to see guys kind of lagging through some stuff. But that's okay. The track will look gnarly at the end, and it'll look kind of cool that way, I think, at least. Dylan Copeland, Hunter Porch, James Armstrong. Oh, Armstrong kind of sending it down the inside, and Porch goes over the berm. Kyle Carpenter settling in here. Robert Wilson, Jeremy Cohenauer, Dennis Fjellberg, Blake O'Brien, Brandon Holmes, James Cohen, then Alexis LeClair. LeClair running right now in 11th, and he just moved up to 10th. He jumped over Cohenauer, it looks like, right there. Absolute freight train of riders coming up the hills already. I noticed before I get too deep into this, Alex Efforts, you asked that Weege and I were both credited on the Weston Pike article. I actually wrote the first half of that article. Weege pretty much just added the quotes and a couple other tidbits mixed in with the second half of that article with the quotes, but I wrote the entire intro and a couple other paragraphs beyond that. So, yeah, we both kind of added to it. All right. Lap 2 underway. Dylan Copeland, Hunter Porch, James Armstrong, Robert Wilson, Kyle Carpenter, Jeremy Cohenauer, and a freight train out front. So 1 through 6 in a bit of a line here. And we'll go on board with Cohenauer to see what it looks like from his perspective, as a lot of these guys don't often get a chance to battle for the lead. So it's curious to see how it will shake down from their perspective. This is tight action, and a rider down. That looked like it was Armstrong that was down. So this 6 train turns into a 5 train, as Cohenauer is still looking at, that's Carpenter on the 43 just ahead of him. And Copeland out front leading this thing, keeping everybody nice and close together here. Look at this 5-rider train going up the hill. Robert Wilson's going to try to take the lead on Copeland. And Hunter Porch on the 47 also in the mix. None of these guys are guys that normally battle for the lead, and they're just absolutely sending it down the hill. Oh, Carpenter lands on Porch, and they're sliding down the hill together. They both finally yard it up, and there goes a couple other riders going by. I thought they both might ride out of that, but Carpenter ends up flipping down the hill. He's in a terrible spot right there. His riders can't see him coming over that blind jump. Oh, that was insane. Blake O'Brien lagging heavily. And just to kind of follow up with that, what you're talking about efforts, yeah, like if you look pretty frequently, I would say at least when I haven't posted anything in the last couple of days, I guess the Pike thing today, obviously, but since I took the time off for my paternity leave, there wasn't anything I posted in that time frame. But I would say at least 3 to 6 articles a week that end up on the site are written by me these days. Like, yes, I edit a lot of content that comes in from our contributors like Mathis, JT, Eric Johnson, Ryan Sipes and Daniel Blair sometimes do some writing for us, Chris Kiefer. I edit their articles, but I also do actually write some columns from time to time. So if you just look at the bylines and it says me, then it includes written words that I have typed in the story. It won't say my name if I haven't actually written stuff in it. So just a little tidbit to the insider knowledge there at RacerX. Jeremy Cohenauer trying to close up on Copeland. Robert Wilson, even though he made that little mistake and lost some time to these guys, still keeping it close to them. Cohenauer trying around the outside again of Copeland, and this might work for a pass for the lead at the bottom of the hill because he's going to have the inside to his advantage. And he's going to make it stick down the inside. Now Robert Wilson's going to try to make something happen as Copeland tries to get a drive back up the hill once more. But Cohenauer leads here at High Point. RaceFactorGaming.com president. Oh, man. It's got to be a good feeling. Lead in National. Oh, Robert Wilson getting a little sideways. But he's going to make the pass anyway because Copeland drove it in too deep. So Wilson moves into second. Then you got Logan Leitzel here in fourth. And Gebhardt, your Moto 1 winner, is up in fifth already. Armstrong 6th, Holmes 7th, Mitchell 8th. Jack Haley's up into 9th. Kyle Carpenter just crashed out of 10th. Ethan Parks is now 10th. Adam Holm is 11th. Hunter Porch 12th. Blakely 13th. Pachone 14th. Simos 15th. Pilsner 16th. 17th for Devin Davis. 18th James Cohen. 19th Kyle Carpenter. 20th is Seth Garrett. 21st Kyle Robb. 22nd Benny Landry. 23rd Kevin Gonzalez. Carlin 24th. Ritzler 25th. Eklund 26th, but he just got passed by Alexis LeClair, who's in 26th place right now. What happened to Alexis LeClair? He was definitely ahead of all of his nearest rivals for tonight's action. Walter Gebhardt, Adam Holm, Jack Haley, and Colton Mitchell were all behind Alexis LeClair early in the race, and they're all now not only ahead of him, but pretty far ahead of him at this point. So LeClair has got a lot of work to do here to try to make some moves. Makes a pass there. Now he's got his sight set on Eklund here on the 37 ahead of him. And this is what it's like to be buried in the field here already almost 8 minutes into this thing. And you can see there are very limited amounts of riders behind LeClair. He is deep in this field of runners that are actually on the racetrack right now, but he's going to get a couple freebies there. A couple guys were down, so he goes up to 24th. Oh, jumping down the inside, gets another freebie from a rider down, and another rider was down again, so he goes up to 23rd. And he's got a host of riders in a freight train ahead of him, so he's just got to be methodical, pick his way through here. Down the hill we go. LeClair putting some pressure on Gonzalez. Race Carlin just ahead of them on the 12. And a ton of riders piling into this last corner. 479 of James Cohen also mixed in there. LeClair goes a 208 flat in traffic. And he can get up to about 17th here very quickly with some timely passes. Here's Devin Davis just ahead of him. He's going to try to sneak down the inside of him. He passes him, goes around the outside of Carlin, moves up to 20th. He still's got James Cohen right ahead of him. Goes to the inside of him, makes that pass. Now another rider down. There was one of the Panini riders, I think, maybe, that was down. And then tripling down the hill. Is this Peter Like on the 83 that he's right behind? No, it's a 23, which is Kyle Robb. I didn't realize Kyle Robb was still racing, but here he is. Kyle Robb, a former 250 Supercross champion in this game. 68 of Ethan Parks now just ahead of LeClair. Incredible to watch this action from onboard because you just get such a more accurate glimpse of what it's like for these guys to have to actually battle each other instead of from the camera view. And LeClair, who is a first-person player, you're basically seeing exactly what he would see in a normal race situation right now and how it's transpiring in front of him. Parks makes a mistake. LeClair trying to pounce on it around the outside and gets that pass done up to 18th. Still has Kyle Robb just ahead of him, but Robb just missed the rut up the hill, so LeClair's going to get a better drive. Robb able to salvage a good drive from the outside, though. LeClair charging around the outside, trying to shut the door on Robb. Overzealous for sure as he just turns right and hits Kyle Robb. Down he goes. And Robb, I think, also hit the deck as well. So everybody that LeClair just went by as we were watching him also got right back by him as he went down. And Walter Gebhardt has taken over the race lead from Jeremy Cohenauer. So Cohenauer had his time in the sun for a little bit, led this race for a little while, and now it's gone over to Walter Gebhardt, who leads this thing. And a 1-1 performance perhaps on the day for Gebhardt on the way. That would be a big deal for the number 5 championship-wise. Cohenauer trying to keep him honest, though, and stay close. Oh, big swap coming down the hill. Here's Robert Wilson and Colton Mitchell with Jack Haley right behind him. So Haley's got a good positioning as well. Colton Mitchell also right near the sharp end of the field. Mitchell had to come from pretty deep in the field in the first moto to get up to 4th. So he'll be rather satisfied with this position as it is right now. And I think all of these guys up front are going to be happy to see that Alexis LeClair and Adam Holm, for that matter, are both deeper in the field. But obviously these guys would like to pass each other if they can. So Haley putting the pressure right now on Colton Mitchell. They head up the hill here. Mitchell now eyeing up a pass perhaps on Robert Wilson as they come down to the bottom of the hill. Pass attempts aplenty. And Kevin Gonzalez disconnected nose down coming onto that triple landing right there. The 33 Takatoji ride is out of this one, but his bike will remain afloat before the finish line jump. Invisible to everybody else, they won't be able to hit him. Just a very funny disconnect there for Kevin Gonzalez. And Colton Mitchell and Jack Haley both swarmed around Robert Wilson and got by him, and now Haley's got an inside move perhaps on Colton Mitchell down the hill, and he's going to cross back up underneath of him. Can he get this pass done? No, Mitchell holds steady, though. Wow, Haley got that rut clean. Oh, no, Haley tried to cut back under and hit the inside rut, and down he went. Unfortunate there, because he was definitely on the move. Dylan Copeland, James Armstrong, Hunter Porch, Brandon Holmes, Chase Blakely, Pachone, Carpenter, Leitzel, Holm, Pilsner, Davis, Carlin, Robb, and then LeClair now. And LeClair currently sitting in 19th as he just made the move around Kyle Robb. LeClair looking at a couple people right in front of him that he could get by. Adam Holm. I'm sorry, that's actually the 12 of Race Carlin just ahead of him. Oh, big whip for somebody. That was Devin Davis. Devin Davis getting absolutely crunk right there. And LeClair trying to take advantage of it to go around these guys. Bar to bar with Carlin coming down the hill. This is going to be an opportunity to make a move down the inside of the 12, which he will get done. Now he tries to go even further inside to make a move on Davis, but nothing doing there. Davis holds steady. Look at this absolute freight train right here. Pilsner, Davis, LeClair, Carlin, and Robb. Crazy battle going up the hill right now. Around the outside, Davis trying to stay low and maybe get a drive on Pilsner, but LeClair fighting around down the outside. Ends up in that middle rut, might get a drive up the hill on the left side of the track to make a move on Davis. He's going to scrub up the inside. That disconnect from Gonzalez is hilarious. Definitely a rage quit. Oh, that was... These guys that are disconnected are just screwing with my mind. I thought for sure that somebody just ran into Austin Eklund, I believe, who is out of this race there. And LeClair finally completes the pass on Pilsner to make his way through this entire little group here. Moves up to 15th in the process. Next up would be Logan Leitzel. Adam Holm just ahead of him. Brandon Holmes ahead of him. Blakely kind of all alone right now, as is Hunter Porch. Dylan Copeland just got passed by James Armstrong. Oh, Robert Wilson's down, but he is not going to lose a position to Armstrong or Dylan Copeland as they come in here. Jack Haley ahead of them. Jeremy Cohenauer still fighting for some good positioning up front. And suddenly Colton Mitchell has caught Walter Gebhardt here. So Colton Mitchell, who was 4th in the first moto, do himself a nice favor points-wise to get this one. Gebhardt trying to hold on and go 1-1. A 1-2 would still win him the overall, but obviously Mitchell would like to have a word with him about it. At the very least, it's good to see teammates up front here. "17 minutes down, 13 minutes, 2 laps left to go." Does Colton Mitchell have something for Walter Gebhardt out front as LeClair continues his ascent through the field? He's up to 13th now. Mitchell jump into that outside line, then stays low and carries a little bit more momentum down this hill. He's trying to close right up there on Gebhardt. Gebhardt responding well to the pressure, though. Not overriding or anything like that, but both of these guys obviously are champions, hence the single digits. Gebhardt with the 5, Mitchell with the 6. They both won 250 outdoor titles in the past. So they know how to get these things done. But with 12 minutes still on the clock, a lot of time left to play for either one of them to either make the mistake or start closing up. As Jack Haley still is right ahead of Cohenauer here, and Robert Wilson just got passed by James Armstrong, so Armstrong continues a good charge forward, and Wilson pirouettes out of the corner. Down he goes. Wilson's going to get up now behind Copeland and alongside a BPC teammate Chase Blakely, who's hopping up on the 21 to his outside now. And a big mistake for Wilson's going to allow him through, and Armstrong was down in the gap, so Porch is going to go by, as were the BPC teammates. Logan Leitzel and Alexis LeClair coming down here as well. LeClair has moved up just outside of the top 10. So this is a terrific salvage ride for the defending champion as he's trying to get to the inside here. Logan Leitzel, but Leitzel riding very well. I want to keep an eye on this battle up here because these guys are all still close together. These BPC teammates of Wilson and Blakely, and they're also right behind Copeland just up the road as Blakely makes the move on Robert Wilson. And Hunter Porch, I thought he was going to land on him. Armstrong on the 99 was also looking strong earlier. He'd like to get into this mix. All these guys battling it out right now for, I think this is 6th on the racetrack. I'm just going to laugh every time with that disconnect from Gonzalez. That's like the epitome of rage quitting. Like midair, grab the menu, and just Alt F for your game. So frustrated. Wilson hits a SpongeBob and yards it. So he's out of this battle, but it remains a 4-rider train. Dylan Copeland, Hunter Porch, Chase Blakely, James Armstrong. I believe Copeland, Porch, and Blakely were all on the same team at one point, so we have a battle of former teammates. Porch just made a mistake and jumped off the track, though, so Blakely's trying to fight alongside of him, but Porch holds it wide open off the track. Definitely going to get some cuts from that. And settles in just ahead of Blakely once again. Now, down the inside of Copeland goes Porch. Blakely trying to follow suit on the number 35 as well. Can't quite get it done, and Armstrong just waiting for something to blow up in his face here so he can make a pass, but there goes the move as Blakely gets down the inside of Copeland, and Armstrong's going to try to jump to the inside of D-Cope here. Jumping down the hill. Does he get the power to the ground to make the pass stick? No, he does not. And he's going to actually run into the back of him up the hill, and it causes Copeland to lay it over as Blakely's lost some time now to Hunter Porch. Battle still going on heavy out front. Gebhardt and Colton Mitchell squaring off against one another. Teammates, as mentioned. Oh, Mitchell! He just got completely sideways going up the hill, and that's going to cost him a lot of time there, and it's going to cost him a position, too, as Haley jumps over his head and moves into second. That'll give Haley second overall. And some valuable points against LeClair in the championship as well. Cohenauer sits here in 4th. Porch now in 5th. Blakely 6th. 7th for D-Cope. And here comes LeClair in 8th. 207.3 last time by. And down the inside of D-Cope moves up into 7th. Just like that. So LeClair making some serious work happen through the field right now. Again, some of these riders that they're going through that you see sitting stationary have disconnected. So to them in the server from this race back on June 24th, they would not have seen those riders at all. They would have been completely off their screen. But to me, because it's demos, they stay sitting there where they disconnected. So they still are invisible. They won't ever get hit or anything like that. But just something to know that can't really change that. Like right there, they just jumped through. I think that was James Ohashi who had crashed at the bottom of the hill. If anything, what this does is give you a real indication of how many people rage quit these motos. And it's kind of insane. There's a lot of people that would really like to race on the pro level and compete and try to score points, or at least, I mean, I remember finishing 25th in motos before when I first made my pro debuts back in the day, and feeling happy about finishing 25th or 24th or battling some of the guys that I did. And then you have so many of these guys that line up for a moto, line up for a moto or two even, and then rage quit out. It's got to be frustrating for people sitting on the sidelines that qualified 40th or didn't make it through the consi or whatever. Now, was LeClair able to move around into 6th, and there he goes around Cohenauer, I think that was, who was down, and goes into 5th. Actually, I'm sorry, that was Porch. Blakely still has Leitzel right behind her now. Leitzel got into the mix here on the number 18 Mad Cape ride, and then Blakely slides out and crashes. So Leitzel, taking some evasive maneuvers, goes around him. Dropping down the hill. And we got a battle for the lead starting to brew a little bit. Jack Haley has got this thing down to within a second of Walter Gebhardt, and we know how Haley is in the second half of these motos. He can get awfully feisty. 6:25, Justin Kelleher doing a great job of being a solid lapper. So can Haley close this gap down to Gebhardt? Maybe steal a moto win away from him here. And Haley, who was third in the first moto, do himself a solid to go 3-1 here today, although it would not win him the overall. But at least for right now, gaining some valuable points against guys like Alexis LeClair, Adam Holm, Colt Mitchell, all of which who are expected to contend for this championship this season. Although that mistake is going to hurt his chances at catching Walter Gebhardt out front, who has been quite dynamite today. Good starts and a very consistent flow of results so far for the number 5 machine. Still has 5 minutes and 2 laps left to go, but he may very well be wrapping up a 1-1 performance here today at High Point. Top 3 separated by about 5 seconds. Mitchell down here, 5.6 seconds is the exact gap to be perfectly correct. Jeremy Cohenauer back here. Lost touch with them all, and LeClair is now all the way up to 5th. Not out of the question that he could get 4th. I mean, if anything, this is really starting to show that there are 4 riders in this series that can do some damage week in and week out. Now 4 obviously would be Gebhardt, Mitchell, Haley, and LeClair. Because if LeClair can come all the way through here and get into the 4th position, that would be quite a ride for the Frenchman. So up the hill they go. Got 4 minutes and 2 laps remaining on the clock here. He's got 10 seconds to make up, but he did a 2:04.8 last time by to a 2:09.5. So I'm going to just stick on board with him because he gained about 5 seconds on Cohenauer alone last lap. I want to see if he can gain another 5 seconds. He crossed the line. He's about 10.5 seconds down. It's already down to 9 flat. Look at him go. It's just that time just chipping away. He's doing different lines than everybody else coming down the hill here. Down to 8.7 seconds. I mean, incredible stuff, LeClair. You just watch him ride, and it's crazy how good he is at this game. Down to 7.8, back to 8.0 though, so Cohenauer keeping it steady. Just so curious if he can get this thing down to under 5 in 1 lap. Oh boy, oh, that's gonna cost him. Clip that little side of the anthill coming down into the gully, and down he goes. Looks like James Cohen to the right side of the track is disconnected from this one. And Logan Leitzel has moved up to 6. He's just ahead of Devin Davis here. Chase Blakely, Hunter Porch, and James Armstrong all mixed in together. Adam Holm, Robert Wilson, and Dylan Copeland and Brandon Holmes. Man, everybody's still close together back here. This is anybody's race here for the 6th position. Trying to keep an eye on the battles out front. We're missing all kinds of chaos in the midfield. Armstrong all over Hunter Porch. Trying to put the pressure on the 47. And Jack Haley up front is all over Walter Gebhardt for the lead. I just would hate to miss a pass up there, but so much stuff is going on back here. Holm trying to eye up something on Armstrong. Robert Wilson still putting pressure on Holm. Then ahead of these guys, Blakely, Devin Davis still battling it out. Hunter Porch is leading this little 4-rider freight train up the hill right now. And Dylan Copeland and Brandon Holmes battling it out behind them. Down the hill we go. Looks like Holm might have something on Armstrong. He's going to tuck to this far inside and just get no grip on that far inside line. Just not deep enough to lay into for him. So they all funnel over the finish line, jump, and continue on their merry way once more. Looks like Gebhardt actually did kind of extend that gap back over Haley. It was down to 1.2 seconds. It's up to 4.6. And Haley just went down. That's going to give Colton Mitchell second if he sees him coming out of this corner. And he doesn't. Oh, but he just barely rides out of it. Oh, man, that was close. So Haley drops back to third. Kohenauer still a lonely fourth after LeClair had his fall. Devin Davis, sixth. Blakely, seventh. Porch, eighth. Holm, ninth. Wilson, 10th. Holmes, 11th. Copeland, 12th. Armstrong, 13th. Again, these guys are all still so close together. Armstrong getting a little wayward through the ruts there on the inside. And time creeping up on its expiration date. We only have 20 seconds remaining on the clock right now. Armstrong getting a little sideways. Copeland trying to keep it ahead of him. And of course, battles just up the road of them that they would like to be involved in to try to sneak into the top 10. Armstrong gives Copeland a little bit of a bunce, moves him out of the way. So now he's going to try to run down Brandon Holmes. Robert Wilson's just ahead of him. Here's Adam Holm trying to close up on Porch. And Blakely still trying to close up on Davis. Davis just made a mistake, and Blakely does take over that sixth spot. As time has expired, where are our leaders? Yeah, so they're going to have 3 to go because they've already crossed the line. How about this battle brewing between Haley and Mitchell for second? Walter Gebhardt looks like he may be well and truly on his way to taking the win here. But Jack Haley going to try to sneak up and make a pass for second on Colton Mitchell. So 2-lap board about to come out for these guys. Lot on the line here points-wise to try to get a good start to their championship established after everything that transpired at the opening round of WWE Ranch. They wanted to obviously rebound. Can Haley do something with Mitchell here? Just seems like they're both riding the exact same pace, and I'm sure when we do a lap time check here in just a second, we'll probably see that that statement is rather true. Gebhardt up here to the top of the hill one last time, checks in. 2-lap board out right now for Walter Gebhardt. Let's do a lap time check of these guys. Jack Haley right there did a 2:04.1 to a 2:04.2, just as I expected. Oh, and Haley slides out, so Mitchell, just after running his best lap of the race, which was a 2:04.2, gets away. Kohenauer still holding LeClair at bay. Wonder how long he can do so. Is he going to last till the end of the race, or is LeClair going to sneak up and take this one away? Oh, LeClair's still trying to hit his normal lines as he hops over. Is that Ian Holm, maybe? I didn't see the number. Kohenauer, that gap is coming down, though. LeClair going to try to get as close as he possibly can, as Haley still tries to keep Colton Mitchell in his line of sight. And LeClair absolutely ripping right now. Gebhardt still holds a 13-second advantage on Colton Mitchell. Jack Haley has definitely closed that gap up to Mitchell. And that gap's so much coming down now between Kohenauer and LeClair. Here's Haley and Mitchell still battling for second. Mitchell still just keeping Haley at bay with very calculated ride. We go back here and see Devin Davis, Chase Blakely, Adam Holm in a bit of a fight in their own right as well, as they're trying to fight off each other for sixth here. Holm has done a good job to come through the field, as has Davis. Blakely with a much better start than he's normally accustomed to in this moto, but still ending up in a pretty similar position to his normal finishes. As the white flag is waving out front. And who's going to make the move? Is Haley going to get Mitchell? Is LeClair going to get Kohenauer? Or will Blakely or Holm get Davis? We're going to find out as the white flag is going to wave for these guys. Oh, this is it. LeClair down the inside. Oh, he almost gets into the back of him. Blew the inside rut, and that's going to cost him a lot of time trying to drag up the hill here. And here's Haley trying to make the move on Mitchell. Down the hill, he's got a great run. Oh, to the inside. And then scrubs, and he's going to try to get to the next corner first. Cuts back underneath to this inside rut. Still can't get it done. Kohenauer has LeClair all over him. Davis, Blakely, and Holm still latched together. Where are these passes going to come from? Gebhardt is getting away scot-free at the front, but it's all these battles 2 through 7 to keep an eye on. Haley still can't get him. Here's LeClair outside of Kohenauer. Got it. Got that pass done. Very nicely done for LeClair. And back to this battle is Davis trying to hold off Holm. Holm's going to go around the outside of Blakely into the next corner. He tucks to the far inside, but that doesn't work. Then Davis stands it up a little bit, so Blakely trying to come up around the outside of him. Davis, Blakely, Holm, 6, 7, 8, battling down the hill. Oh, it's close. Peek back up just ahead real quick. Haley still hasn't got Mitchell just yet as Gebhardt comes down the hill. And there it is. Oh, Haley pushes Mitchell out of the way to get into second. And Haley moves into second as Walter Gebhardt comes to the finish line. And Walter Gebhardt is going to go 1-1 today at High Point to claim the High Point National victory. Haley's going to get second over Mitchell. LeClair's going to get fourth over Kohenauer. And here's this battle for sixth. Davis, a big whip on the sky shot here in the back. And then he gets a little sideways, so Blakely might have a move on the inside. Oh, this is going to get close. Confirmed, Haley second, Mitchell third. And we wait to see if LeClair did get Kohenauer, but this battle to the checkered for sixth is a tight one. Oh, Blakely launching down into flat to keep Holm behind him. Blakely's going to try everything he can to get around Davis, and Holm just would love to get around both of them. There it is. LeClair crosses the line fourth, so he did get Kohenauer, who ends up fifth in this one. And there's 3 corners to go in this battle for sixth. It is intense stuff. Holm around the outside, launches down the hill, and he lands it! And he gets to the inside of Davis! What a move for Adam Holm. Davis trying to cut underneath. Adam Holm with an absolute send down the hill is going to move himself up to sixth on the last lap of the race with 2 turns to go. Adam Holm completes the pass to get sixth. Davis 7th, Blakely 8th. Oh my gosh, that pass by Adam Holm was insane. Holy smokes, where did that come from? Robert Wilson, he's going to come through and pick up 9th. Armstrong 10th. Carpenter coming through here in 11th. 12th for Seth Garrett, 13th for Dylan Copeland. 14th, Hunter Porch. And here comes 15th with Reed Young. 16th for Thomas Wilcox. 17th right there goes to Brandon Holmes. 18th for Race Carlin. And 19th for Joseph Pilsner as he crosses the line. And 20th was Dennis Fjellberg. And I just need to roll forward off the gate to get us cuts. Oh, so many people DNF'd. Okay, off the gate we go. There we go, and cuts are in. Let's take a look. Looks like Pilsner and Carlin both leapfrog Holmes for 18th and 17th respectively. And Blakely leapfrogs Davis for 8th, so Holmes does get to keep his 6th that he just fought and earned right there at the end. And then positions up front stay the same, so a 1-1 performance. Walter Gebhardt has won the High Point National here today in a thrilling conclusion to this absolute insane race here. Oh my goodness, what an absolute crazy night of racing at High Point. So glad we could rebroadcast it for you guys tonight. I hope that everybody that was here and got to see this one enjoyed what you got to see. I was happy that I was able to actually rebroadcast it for you guys. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to broadcast it initially, but now we're done. We're back on schedule. We're going to get racing tomorrow night at Redbud. I'm sure a lot of people are excited about that one. Going to be a fun national that we're going to see tomorrow night, but we're back fully completed. We did the makeup round. High Point is done and dusted. That was the second round of the championship back on June 24th that we just watched tonight. Of course, you already saw Southwick last week and all the other nationals before it. We saw some GPs and stuff. Now we're headed to Redbud tomorrow night, and I can't wait to see you guys there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night from Redbud.